Hello again. That's Josie Cat 79, aka Chris, joining you once again with my usual co-host Erica, aka Dark Neon.
Huh? We just came back? Oh, I guess that trick of turning the world back around worked out.
I bet you guys are probably seeing this and wondering, didn't we already talk about Superman? Yes,
We did,
but
but we just love it so much we need to talk more about it. Or that we realized we kind of missed some topics in the first video that we really wanted to really cover. As much as I kind of technically did uh, put down like a comment in the first video in the comment box about some ideas, but it's best we have our voices fleshed out to talk about it,
I don't
because
know.
I mean, come on, this is like a big event to talk about.
I mean, okay, now let me just give you an idea about this. You know how far back I go with dinosaurs. You know how big a deal Jurassic World is to me, Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Rebirth has the darn Titanosaurus love scene, and Dr. Loomis is the best character the series has ever seen in a while. I'm on the fence of like, I'll go see it another time in a bit. But with this movie, I keep thinking, what if I saw Superman again? If I find it funny that feeling, I'm getting it more with this than the movie with the goddamn dinosaurs in it.
Hell, I'm even thinking of wanting to see it like another time, and that's not counting the uh, one big super um, viewing day I plan to do. I want to actually capitalize on the internet meme that's going around, the super fantastic world, where it's like Superman, Jurassic World, and the Fantastic Four movie, which is coming out.
Uh-huh. Which that's less than a week away. I'm getting excited for that. But yeah, like I said though, I just want to talk more about Superman because I'm just seeing all kinds of stuff, and this movie is still generating discussions both in favor and against it, which is just amusing. That the worst thing a movie can do is come into the world and no one even knows if it made a dent or not. Case in point, Megan 2.0. If you've seen it,
Ouch.
people are saying, what the hell were they thinking? If you saw it and saw how the concept they were going for, you're wondering, what the hell were they thinking? Like, not sticking the landing on that concept. I mean, you were surprised when you saw it on digital storefronts already.
Yeah, it's like it came out like the tail end of June. We're like we barely made it to the middle of July now. So it's like I think I can't remember like a faster like track to digital since oh oh dear, since the Flash movie.
Well, that wasn't that bad.
Oh,
Now, the
we're not in good territory.
the worst one of that was Monster Hunter or one of the other Paul Anderson films. I think Final Chapter was available for digital within a week of release.
Ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, but I just want to talk about Soups because it is just soaring above expectations that many had for it. Many that counted it down and out or a one-time fad are starting to like reconsider some of their estimates, and even those that are trying their best to bring it down with their vitriol and their issues, they're becoming a slight minority where they have valid points. Like if you're someone who saw this movie and you thought none of it really worked for me, that's perfectly fine. But there are those that are seeing its success as an utter betrayal. They say, this is why society is going down the tubes. I'm going, no, 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 no. This here is exactly what we need at this point in time, given all the state of the world, without needing to elaborate on things right there. In fact, I almost want to make a meme joke of like Superman protecting that girl, where the girl is saying, "My faith in the world," with Superman like being the Superman movie 2025, and the monster debris being like reality or whatever.
Pretty much the entirety of the 2020 decade.
Ah, yeah,
Sad to say.
yeah. It's been a time and a half, and it's very funny how Superman always comes high and with his highs and lows in his popularity, as we saw in the Look Up in the Sky documentary, and even since then. And I think again, this movie's really. I've seen a lot of people that I saw comments that even said, I never liked Superman before, but I saw this and now I get it. There's people who say they want to see
And
more of him.
that's honestly like one of the most magical things to happen. Like even Angry Joe himself has said that like even though he like has problems with the movie and only likes it, not loves it, like he really hoped that he would. To hear that there's people that are coming around understanding who Superman is and want to be a fan of it, like he gives on that aspect alone, he gives the film a 10 out of 10 for doing what he wanted to at least do for the wide spectral audience.
Yeah, so we're just here to talk a little bit more about Superman and about the stuff we missed and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's still generating a lot of discussion. I'll say this right off the bat. I'll say this right now. The answer for is it woke? We went through a whole thing about that, but I think we should also talk about the other end of the spectrum. Is it really saying the stuff that you think it's saying? Because there are people who have grasped onto it as like, wow, this movie actually has a firm stance on conflicts the world within their open. Like, well, yeah, because it's Superman. If Superman were to see, let's say, case in point, that the horrible invasion in Ukraine, I think he would roll up some Russian tanks just and turn them into balls and tell the guys, go back home. I think he would do that regardless of the political ramifications, which actually will be a point we're going to get to because I actually laid out a list of stuff that I wrote out that I want to talk about.
And it's like, again, I did point out that it was covered in like Superman versus Elite. That came out in like let's see, it started around when the DC started to think about changing their logo again, and were starting to do their reboot in the comics. So it's like about the tail end of the late 20s, about early 2010s.
Yeah.
Like it's basically a 10-year-old movie. It still holds up, but even then, it still had the same thing going on, where there's two fictional countries in battle, in dispute, and Superman is brought in to kind of like diffuse the situation.
And there are people going, "Oh, was this talking about the war in the Middle East or in South?" No. Gunn admitted he wrote this before all that horrible stuff happened. And the current conflicts that are happening now that people are drawing parallels to. It's just complete coincidence. And I'm surprised looking at the publication date of
It
Action Comics.
it's it honestly feels pretty much like the same thing that happened with Andor, where they had um the oh shoot, what's the Gorman, the
The Gorman Massacre.
the the Gorman massacre. That was pure happenstance. It's not their fault, not the writer's fault, that reality just seems to think just like fall into place at timing.
By the way, I'm so surprised that What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way came out in 2001 before 9/11.
Hmm.
That's March
Yeah, it was.
2001.
Yeah, it would only be like after the fact when Joe Kelly, the original writer for that, who would help expand more material for the adaptation, because it was like a single issue comic. It's uh, a little bit more smarter if you're gonna adapt it to be a feature movie. You actually add it with the scenes that matter. Killing joke.
Yeah. So June, bless
And
you.
Joe actually managed to add in like a dialogue that Manchester Black said, like, "You don't seem to get it, do you? You don't wake up every day seeing like uh building skyscrapers fall and hurricanes like ravage planes out of nowhere."
Yeah. So
Like he's telling Superman that he's too privileged in like his stance to understand the viewpoint of the small and the meek, the people that just had to face the real injustices without anyone to come in to put the final answer for them.
yeah. So I'm just going to say that right now. But before that, there are a few thoughts we thought about talking about, and let's go ahead and start with someone we see the first thing. One thing that surprised me right away is the fact that the first ever trailer, we open up with the snowy vistas and nice landscapes, and then kapow, Superman's bloodied and battered. And some people jokingly say, well, that's the current state of the character in the eyes of the public as is before this movie. That's him after he lost his first fight against the Hammer of Arabia. But I'm amazed that that's the first thing we saw in the trailer. That 5 minute sneak peek before Minecraft, still a good time, was
It's funny. It's funny in hindsight. We saw that scene and we think, oh wow, that's probably like a middle of the road kind of thing. Like we'll see that scene happen, like maybe at the middle after he's had like his uh reality checked, he got his ass beat, or at least maybe he'd still be in the beginning, but we'd still see the fight. But no, it's literally like the first thing you see after seeing the text of like it's been 300 centuries since the metahumans appeared, 3 decades since the rocket jettisoned from Krypton landed on this near a small Kansas farm. Uh, 3 years since the metahuman Superman came announced to the world to uh, help serve justice and the better tomorrow.
And
It's been 3 weeks since he stopped the invasion of Borealia to
yeah.
uh, Juniper and caused some controversy. It, it's been 3 hours since the force known as the Hammer of Bravia arrived to attack Metropolis in retaliation. It was 3 minutes ago since Superman lost his first fight. And then BAM!
Bam! And then, like I said, though, it's just amazing that that's the first thing we see, and even that preview opens up with him. It's like we thought, oh, is this the same as the trailer? And then Crypto shows up, and the whole beating him up happens, and then the Superbots show up. Again, when I was watching the movie again, I thought that this is the first thing they showed us. Which I'm surprised how much of the advertising had little from everything after the first and second acts.
Like, when was the last time they literally showed us, like, the first scene of the movie for a DC film? It's like, almost kind of gives you a flashback to when they gave the preview to Dark Knight Rises, where you saw Bane, the intro of Bane.
Yeah, yeah.
Crash in this plane,
Yep.
and no survivors!
Funny enough, his dialogue was considered so hard to hear that they actually went back and audio recorded Tom Hardy again, which is why he has the most clearest voice despite having a muffled bag over his face. But yeah, I mean, at least it's better than the alternative. It could have been Amazing Spider-Man, where literally the last shot of the second trailer is the last shot of the entire movie.
Oof.
But yeah, like I said though, I bring it up because one of the things we saw right away that got me giddy was the Superbots, and and Sis pointed this out as a thing that she noticed as a great characteristic about these androids, is that instead of calling him Kal-El like you would expect since they're from Krypton, they actually refer to him as Superman.
Yeah, it almost, like, it didn't click to my mind a little bit until, we realized, oh, by the way, the, Superman bots are voiced by Alan Tudyk, or as I suppose we should call these robots, Alan Tudyk Robots Model 52.
Well, yeah, because
He seems to be the de facto voice to be every single, like, charming robot character voice in, like, every Hollywood or big budget project.
and if he's not the robot himself, he's in a movie with robots. Because remember, he was Dutch in Dark of the Moon. Simmons is a right hand man who actually had a bit of a spec ops training. It looked like.
But yeah, as I pointed out, they refer to him as Superman. Like, this is literally like his Force of Solitude. It's supposed to be like a behind the scenes kind of thing, like when he's not in the public image, but they still refer to him as Superman. It's almost like, so the kind of taking the reins a little bit in the trans community. When we're trying to build up our identities and like pick our new names, we'll often try to do quirky things like experiment, like order from a Starbucks and use the name one here and see if we get like affirmations, how it sounds publicly. Like, say, I have coffee for Gretchen. Gretchen, I like it, but it doesn't seem to have that pop. And the personal side, my name choice literally was just on a whim, and I just thought, oh, this is kind of different. Not heard of often, but maybe that's what I need.
Yeah, that's why you notice it
And,
now in our intros. I tend to highlight that as the name.
exactly. Thank you very much, by the way. And also, so yeah, it's basically Superman kind of needing an affirmation to hear his name referred to him often and often. It's honestly kind of like a kind of a welcoming like reprieve, especially since at this point he is kind of having to deal with the Twitter bots essentially running like hashtags that hashtag super shit and all that. It's
You
like,
know that annoys him specifically.
really annoys him. But yeah, it's kind of nice that he asks the robots to refer to him as Superman. It's like it's a title he feels like I don't know. It's like it might not be the intention by James Gunn, but it's how I like saw it, and I can understand that Clark would want to have some backing a little bit to hear it often realize like, huh, that Superman really is kind of a catchy name. I like that.
All right, so the other robots have voices too. One of the earlier robot voices you heard was Michael Rooker, aka Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy, and Palm Clementif, who was Mantis in the Guardians movies, was also robot number 5, according to this. And the one we heard that smiled was Grace Chan, the number 12, the new one. And then
It's kind of cool that James will always keep finding ways to slip people he's worked with before in the other movies.
and I believe that
I am curious. I am curious what he has planned for Zoe Saldana. Apparently, I've heard he has an idea, but I haven't even heard what the answer is. He really being very coy about it. It's like, I know a part that's fit for you, but I ain't gonna tell.
but yeah, like I said though, like I said, he also cast his wife as one of the robots too. Probably the one that was reading off the stats, I guess. Which, but
That's fair. At least she didn't take this show over like Paul W. S. Anderson did.
but yeah, so like I wanted to point out the Superbots because again, not only are they way back lore, not only All Star Superman, but a lot of Silver Age stories. Like when we saw them trying to avoid the comics code problems, they thought, well, let's get more sci-fi. Let's explore the Superman robots that work in Superman's house, or all the different kryptonite that would lead to crazy scenarios. Like I think there was one scenario where he couldn't stop eating hamburgers because he'll die, something like that, because of some shenanigans, of course. In fact, if you want to
Comic book.
if you want to get a good laugh, just look at any random ass Silver Age Superman or any DC comic story, and you'll get some ones where you're going, "What the?" And most of the time, the stories barely touch on the cover image, so or the original clickbait, as some would joke.
Yeah.
But yes, so like I said though, the Alan Tudyk plays the main robot 4, which I think he's done Superman the longest, because he's the one that knows what soothes him. Like they put on his message, his parents' message from Krypton, and he is like, I think he's a little coy and sarcastic with him. So when he tells him thank you, I think he was being a little.
No need for guys. As we are autonomous entities, you have no feelings or personalities whatsoever.
Yeah, I think he was just being a smartass. And the way he smiled, you can tell Clark's thinking smartass. Like he's heard it before. And like what contradicts it is that he says meet 12. She's new. The fact that he smiles at her, she's all like, "Oh, he looked at me." She seemed very touched by that, despite being a quote unquote mindless automaton that lives only to serve with no feeling. Which saddens me to think that she's one of the ones cut down by the engineer. In fact, I was trying to be careful looking at for the shield plates to see which one was 12. I hope 12 didn't get bisected too bad.
Hmm.
I know, because I know I felt instantly protective of 12 just because that was so cute, and I had a feeling like, oh wait, she's one of the ones I felt. But I like how the Superbots were aiming to like conk out Luthor with their elbows and stuff, but the engineer and Ultraman got in the way.
But yeah, they're welcome. But on the side, I do feel like I wish you could see more. I mean, to be fair, even in the Rich Dick Donner movies, you didn't see much of the Fortress of Solitude aside from like the what called the Grand Pallor, where he's got the controls, the
Mm-hmm.
different crystals and all that. And it would just be like really fitting if James Gunn to like show us like he's got like different rooms with like different vibrant animals. In fact, I'm pretty sure that could have been like what we saw in the beginning, but James probably realized like I mean it would be nice, but he really needed to get to the action.
On
Like
top of that,
didn't
everyone's
want
gonna
to
be all
pull the
like,
audience too far.
and people will be like, wait, what is all that? I think, but the fortress does set up room for eventually. You will see his cave filled with things. Maybe the statue. I mean, I don't think he'll have the statue of his parents now, given their history. But I mean, that's a I know. And then I don't know. I think a dying Superman would want to restore the Titanic like he did on All Star Superman. And he'll have a little pen for his Sun Eater that eats stars that he can make out of himself. Maybe he learned that from Metamorpho. but like I said,
Okay.
but like I said, though, 4 is definitely the one he has the most strongest attachment to because when when I think Gardner offhand mentions how Dave got also that Luthor got in the message, and he realized, oh crap, he just flies straight to home. And the same vibe it gives me is Luke's realization that the Empire went home. That's the same type of vibe I get from it. And we know that all is lost. When he gets there, his computer is destroyed, the message is destroyed, and all the robots are in shambles. And 4 is a lot, and he is seemingly, he's ramming a screwdriver into his head now. That could be interpreted as he's trying to like fix himself up, but Ultraman really messed him up when he pulled those wires in his chest, or he's like maybe like going stupid, 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 like punishing himself for failing to protect Superman.
But yeah, to be fair, he actually does get patched up later. So like what a lot of people were assuming was going to happen to him, considering that they had that trailer image of him holding for his body as if like, oh, my old friend, it's like this. I guess this is farewell. It's like, nah, we'll just fix you up later. We'll get you a new body.
Well, yeah, I mean, and more better off than his other droid counterpart in the Star Wars universe. And even if they were to try to do that, his robotic corpse was on Scarif when single ignition reaction happened. So
Yeah, so
fat chance of that.
it's basically double dead.
Yeah. So, but like I said though, what's funny is that I think that trauma to the head kind of loosened up his restrictive matrix because he was a little more wanting, saying how he calls him 4. I think I would like a name sometime. Well, 4 is a name.
So is Gary.
And then even the credits list Alan Tudyk as / Gary. Like Gary is now the thing, so he got his wish about getting any. Going forward, I would love to see Gary, and I'm pretty sure some of the other Superbots probably got repaired, and he's got even more now because we were up to like Robot 22 giving him like the treatment. So,
Mhm.
oh god, it's gonna be so heartbreaking if they do a full on adaptation of All Star Superman as the ending of Corn Smith's run. That 4 or another robot that's like him was the betrayal robot, because remember that was a big deal. I mean, now it's funny because he got in because of the DNA signature coded to him, and Ultraman, being a clone of Superman, was able to set it off. That's when he thought, oh, I got the thing set up, and wait a second, this is a restricted area, and Ultraman went right for the kill. But one criticism I did hear against that scene is how Luthor's over there looking like a badass walking through while all this stuff is like sparking and exploding, but it's clear that that's digital stuff added afterwards because Nicholas Holy's going like, a little bit like sparks blowing up on directly on his head from a droid getting split in half by engineer and stuff. But I'm just thinking, no, maybe Lex is too cool to think I'm not going to show any sense of weakness.
Plus, I would kind of chalk it up to the engineer is smart enough that like her nanites are like fine-tuned controls and all that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like I said though, that scene was great with the robots, and I got attached to them. That's why, like I said, just that 12 scene was enough for me to be like, and I do love the fact that they have a wry sense of humor. Like when he goes and sees that some of his fortress stuff is smashed up with the holes dug in, he realized Crypto got a little unruly. He's like, "What the hey, bro?" And you were supposed to watch him. We did. We fed the animal, but he recognizes we're not flesh and blood. Therefore, we have no care if whether he lives or dies. Yeah. So yeah, it's like when you leave your dog alone at home with the radio, just to make him feel like people are home. He knows the difference. He'll still stare at the door and wait for you to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Superbots. This Alan Tudyk does a great job as always, and I still think of that hilarious story I keep telling. I heard a celebration where the first day he met Tony Daniels, because Tony Daniels was gonna do CPO for Rogue One, and he says, "Oh, I'm the new robot. Oh yeah, you're K2S something, right? Yeah. Are you going to be a suit or a motion capture?" And I say motion capture. Without skipping a beat, Tony Daniels tells him, "You shit." And he wished him luck later, but that minute, it's like, in his day, he didn't have all these fancy mocaps and gears. No, he had to be in plastic and freak out when Salacious B. Crumbs ripping out his eye, and he's like, get it off, like that. Poor guy.
I got my shins shanked for this.
Yeah.
Like this scar I have on my shin here ain't for show, sucker.
Yeah, but it was great. But Alan Tudyk, I still can't believe I didn't recognize until that point that he was Sonny in iRobot. I go, oh crap, that's like one of the best sci-fi robots. That's pretty forward thinking for 2005. That movie turns 20 this year. Oh my god.
Hey, can we probably watch it together? 'Cause I haven't seen it yet, so.
Yeah, it came out. it's a you're gonna laugh. Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of it, July 16th. Oh, actually no, 21st. It was 2004. Womp womp. But no, we gotta find a way to. We'll watch it because it's such a good movie. And Alan Tudyk. I mean, I didn't care that he was a CG robot. I really felt for his planned story where there's a part where something supposedly happens to him to the point where, as a kid, I felt moved. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, to know that Alan Tudyk has a lineage going that far back playing robots is just amazing. And in fact, I saw someone make a joke on a thread saying, "You think Alan Tudyk is getting tired of playing robots?" Because he was playing four here.
Yeah. Anyway, another thing we kind of realized we forgot to talk about was the setting, mostly of Metropolis. This is a big thing considering the fact that in most superhero movie material, well, definitely with the likes of uh, Marvel, it's kind of supposed to be like our world, but like now with the mutants and uh, super beings and all that.
Uh huh.
With the only different key differences being fictional places like Wakanda that kind of stand out amongst the others. But in the likes of DC, there's plenty of iconic cities that are their own identities that Hollywood just kind of, well, to be blunt, they just basically just like film it looking exactly like Chicago or NYC and just slap a sign that says now entering Gotham City city limits.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's totally not Pittsburgh. It's Gotham. Look, see, we got the sign and everything.
Yeah, like I said though, because if you look at even early Superman, Superman one through two, all those ones, even though it was Metropolis, they never made no mistake that it was New York. I mean, you get the weird thing of like the twin towers and the Statue of Liberty are present in it, but it's not like I think you buy that this is Metropolis. Even more so in '89 Batman, where Gotham is just a hellish landscape that I'm sure it's an urban planning nightmare for whoever came up with that. And it's and then
But it's still a character. It's still memorable. Like hell, even like the Schumacher movies, like
ooh
the way it portrayed Gotham, it still has an identity. But then when Nolan came around, like and to be fair, as you recall, we did kind of point out that he was able to make like a uh, Gotham City look pretty good despite filming. I think he filmed it mostly in. Did he film it in Chicago? I think.
he did a few exteriors here and there. What he actually shot most of the narrow stuff was in a freaking aircraft hangar that was big enough to build a whole city block in it.
Exactly. But then come around with the Dark Knight, he just said, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's just film the Windy City and just call it a day." To the point where you just kind of sit there and go like, "What kind? How? Holy facelift Batman! Like how everything looks so different. Like even the Wayne building, like it looked like all this like cobblestone and like had this like all this architecture detailing, and now it just looks like a flat ass gray building."
And then yeah, so and Superman Returns actually, even though I shot a lot of his stuff in Australia, did manage to look like a idealized city versus a city where you can point and say, oh, that they filmed this here and there.
Yeah, it's basically up until this point, I've always said that the best thing about Superman Returns was how they portray Metropolis. It is literally the way they designed the city. It looks exactly like it's like the golden standard to earn the name of Metropolis. Like Metropolis is usually like a technical, like casual term describing like a huge city, like New York City is a metropolis, or Miami is technically Metropolis even, but yeah, it's literally a city that is named Metropolis, and the way it stands out is that it has. How I best describe it is basically if Art Deco got inspired by Greek pantheon temples,
So like
where you
kind
got like
of
golden arches, you got like a huge like godly figures like holding like uh globes, like it's the idealized Atlas. Obviously, it obviously looks like a city that is really made for Superman.
Yeah, it's basically like the animated series. That one was very Art Deco inspired, but in the opposite direction of the Art Deco of the Batman the animated series. So that's why other people say this has that feeling of a Superman, like uh, Superman the animated
I
series
think,
flavor.
yeah, I get what you're saying. It's basically Gotham was basically Art Deco of like the New York Expos, where you see like all these fantastic. Oh, this is how the future is going to look. Whereas, unfortunately, it kind of got like muddled away by like the undersea like criminal elements and all that, as opposed to Metropolis, where they got the Art Deco, but they had the uh, fortunate blessing to have a billionaire Lex Luthor to kind of fund building all of this, even with a little bit of a technical update, where it's an actual future city of the future, not like an idealized version of it.
Hmm. And then here's the thing too. Not only is it the architecture that looks very comic inspired, but the fact that these people are pretty okay with a guy in a big metallic suit and a bad Bavarian accent smashing things around to not really like think of it out of the norm. Or a giant kaiju going from 7 feet from a coffee shop into a giant 20-story thing, where they're freaking out. Yeah, but they're not like this has never been seen before. In fact, it feels like they're kind of used to these bizarre happenings with the Justice Gang, with Superman, and all that stuff. I mean, the Rift was like planet destroying, yes, but it wasn't like any more different than the kaiju fight for them. And I mean, there were real stakes, but I'm saying like this is
I'll,
not the DC EU where this is the first time this has ever happened, so everyone's treating it with the severity and seriousness of a Roland Emmerich film.
we're definitely not getting. Oh my God! Everyone's so caught off by all this, and our evacuation is kind of half-assed, and everyone's like being tossed up in the air and like slammed down
Mm-hmm.
into nothingness.
Yeah.
And also to step back, to describe how they portray Metropolis here, uh, it kind of focused on like a particular area. I feel like where there's the twin Luther Core towers, and then there's like this park. Essentially, it's basically more of like a more centralized, more uh, freed up area that kind of feels like a miniaturized Central Park
Mm-hmm.
almost. And also, like as I recall, a lot of people were kind of upset at how Man of Steel basically had product places like every 10 seconds, and I argue it's like, look, unless they actually freeze frame the camera on something and advertise you with like deals and all of that, like putting like corporate stuff in the background is not gonna like detract from things. In
Now,
fact, it'll be funny to see they put their corporate stamp on something and they see Superman toss a freaking General Zod into the Coca-Cola Times Square light stand, like in Superman 2.
yeah. If anything, while they don't have real product placement, they do have product placement from stuff in universe, either reference to the comics or some of Gunn's other shows, to really hit home this lived-in world. Like there's like two types of colas. I can't say the name of them right now because I had a list, but I totally forgot. And like
Unless it's Cuba Cola, I don't. Unless it's Cuba Cola, I don't care.
and the Metropolis Meteors is the name of the team. I thought it was the Mets at first, but I realized it's the Meteors, but it is stylized like the Mets logo. And I thought I mean, it's little details like that that make you go, oh. I mean, hell, that donut place that Luther was talking about. That sounded pretty funny to me. I'm still laughing at that image. I just want to do a funny little sequence where it's like someone calling an order for Lex Luthor, like, and then Ultraman just walks up to the register, and the guy's like thinking, "Holy fuck!" And then Ultraman just leaves the money and takes the donuts. And I'm gonna have a feeling Luther keeps all the ones with the sprinkles for himself.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, like I said though, it does have product placement that is in universe that helps kind of broaden the uh, the feeling of this comic world. If that makes sense.
And, and not only that, I think I honestly feel maybe I might need to rewatch it a few more times, but like even with the second time, I do feel like it's just tipping to the point where it might overtop Superman Returns, which was my favorite. Considering the fact that again, it doesn't look exactly like any city we've known. In fact, it's a lot bigger than we see it. Considering that the rift keeps going, and we were able to still see a lot of buildings going on. There's even a lot of towers that get toppled over like dominoes, which they're like there's not many cities that have that as many tall buildings like at the same size of structure lined up like that.
And it's pretty damn
At least
big.
to my knowledge.
And it's pretty damn big too that Luther mentioned how they will close the rift when it actually threatens the city he actually cares about.
And it's what's funny is that this most of this film was filmed in Cleveland, but they don't even make it look like Cleveland. It's kind of like it's inspired, but it's got more of like a expanded. It's basically if Cleveland got into embracing the fact that they're the home of Superman in a meta sense, since their creators they created the concept in the basement of in that city.
Also, I heard too in the recent history about Superman that someone talked about how one of the early things that got Joe and Joel Schuster together was that one of their fathers did suffer a heart attack. So that makes the whole Jonathan Kent getting a heart attack and Superman probably not intentional as a ref of that makes it feel all the more, you know,
It happens to Superman and Lois too.
yeah, where Jonathan Kent gets a heart attack. I think it's just like, kind of a callback to the fathers of Superman themselves lost their father that way. So it's an interesting dynamic there. But yeah, like I said, though, the city it just lives and breathes. It's awesome, and it's not just a bunch of haphazard CG buildings that are just made to be. I mean, the city destruction looks great. In fact, if he said -1 was inspirational for how you got these normal people trying to go through extraordinary situations. That was his big deal for -1 was that Superman was just an ordinary guy like Shikishima, and but another thing from -1 I think it got was the destruction because as you all know -1 had destruction that wasn't just destruction porn of saying look how much particles we can make this building fall apart. It made you feel like oh my god there were people in danger there, and when you see the buildings topple here, that scene with the bridge driver trying to get out of the way, it's very tense, and it's nice that we know Superman gets it. And I love that he's holding up the whole building and gives her enough time to go. And when he rises from the ruins, it's almost like a Alex Ross painting right there.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
yeah, good on James for giving us a pretty good Metropolis. Honestly, it honestly looks like it really kind of teases me a little bit. I I still feel bad that we never got a Superman game. I really feel like Rocksteady was teasing so damn hard across Arkham Knight with all the references to Metropolis. They wanted to do a Superman game. Warner Bros. Is like, nah, fan, you gotta do this Suicide Squad game.
Well, hell, someone even in their video were talking about the Superman Man of Steel Xbox game mentioned how they look up to their news and they hear yet again that Warner Brothers Games wants yet another Batman Arkham property to be made, even though the Wonder Woman game got shelved and the Man of Steel is nowhere to be seen in games. So it's like, come on.
Enough. We're done with Batman games. I've had my fill. I have a trilogy. No, I technically have a quadrilogy of games. It's just one of the games has been re-released because Warner Bros. Is stupid and like holds Rocket City up on like some higher pillar and like gives the Warner Bros. Montreal the kick to the face.
And then
People are starting to come around and say, out of all the Arkham games, the one that seems to actually be the best wasn't even really made by Rocksteady.
my favorite will still be Arkham Asylum, just for the close contained way. Arkham City is awesome. I kind of get a little lost in that, and Arkham Knight is cool too. Those damn Riddler trophies, though. Enigma went way too obsessive this time around.
To be fair, we kind of see that in his face when we get to fighting. He's like, "That is enough. I've had it with your monkey fighting. Batmobile ruining all my monkey fighting riddles."
So yeah, like I said though, Superman game, get on it for someone with passion at least. Uh, cause I'm saying this though is that it's kind of funny and sad that the best Superman experience we can get in a video game is in Lego Batman 2 when you unlock Superman, where he even as he flies, the John Williams theme plays.
It's actually, to be fair, it turns out there actually was a good Superman game made that not a lot of people heard of. There's actually a Shadow of Apocalypse that's
Yes.
made for PS2 and GameCube.
At least he didn't fly through rings. All right, so we got that.
I I just I just feel like the reason people can't do a Superman game is like, well, how can you make a game where like we have the strongest man alive that can't really be hurt? And now people are like, dude, James Gunn literally was able to make Superman like not be the strongest thing and still make it interesting. Just do that.
Also, make him very, very powerful. He's still powerful. He's still pretty damn fast to fly from Kansas to the equivalent of Ohio or New York
Like
in, in
you
rapid
can handle
speeds.
bullets just like you can handle bullets it's just concussive missiles and all that. Like it will like really throw him off.
But you really don't want him to be like too knocked down, because then you get to the point of what's the point? I mean, right now the best Superman experience I'm playing right now is the Superman boss in Fortnite, when you get to like become him for a little while and actually fly around at high speeds and do a super slam when you come down, and laser beam cars and stuff like that.
It's I don't know if it's sad or just like twisted fate that the best Superman experience has to be via a Fortnite game of all places.
For a limited time, I add. It's going to be leaving soon, so I'm trying to get in all the Superman play I can. But you got to be lucky for the darn thing to spawn, and when it does spawn, you got to hope it doesn't spawn like 600 clicks away from you, where unless you have a vehicle or a warp pad, you won't be able to get to it, and someone else will get it, and you'll be like, oh, great, now I got to put up with Superman.
And you wonder why I haven't even gotten into the game still to this day.
Hmm. Anyway, so we have to deal with that, but now we got to wonder what a funny little. We don't want to. It's we always know it's hard that you don't want to kick someone when they're down, but you can't help but draw comparisons between what came before and what came now. And one of the biggest things being the DC EU having people questioning where Superman stands on everything, and how he takes into consideration acting unilaterally and doing things that would cause the world to pause and go, huh. So in BVS, his actions in foreign lands have been seen to cause like ripples, where the Congress wants to bring him in to ask him to explain himself for his actions. Like they want to hold him responsible for a power vacuum being created that started another massacre, stuff like that. We all learn later that that's all machinations by Lex Luthor, which is kind of the same thing here. But let's compare how that was executed versus how it was executed here with the whole um, the the planet is not sure where Superman interfering with another foreign nation brings consequences or not. The whole where Jimmy Olsen is telling Lois Lane casually, Superman didn't probably think it through. What that going into Baravia might have brought this guy on us and everything like that. So, thoughts.
Yeah, you start first.
Alrighty then. So, the idea is that in Batman versus Superman, June Finch, played by Miss Incredible herself. Oh crap! I have her name in my head, and Bonnie Hunt. No, 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 that's the other person. Oh, what the hell? Google 1 second. I don't want to mess this up.
Are you
Portray-
asking what the
Holly
actress's
Hunter.
name is?
Holly Hunter. That was it. Yeah. Holly Hunter.
Yes.
Holly Hunter played June, the senator, who keeps on saying how Superman could be allowed to act, but not act on principle of the United States unilaterally, to the point where we made that whole Princess Bride joke every time. You keep using that word. I don't think it means exactly what you think it means.
Actually, just realized I don't think Lee Carr ever once made a joke about uh Gene Finch being Elastigirl on his BVS review. Ugh, I guess the movie really conked him out that he just kind of forgot some like things.
I think I was more hung up on the fact that Noriko from Wolverine was Mercy Graves, only to be blown up in the congressional hearing.
Yeah, that
Like,
was.
watch, the entire time we were watching the Wolverine, I'm seeing her as Mariko, and Zack Snyder had to blow her up. Like, we get it, bro. You felt really bad. I mean, if you noticed in our X-Men retrospective, and we covered the Wolverine, uh, I drew my Volpic self hugging a little Noriko plush. But
I
yes,
forget which. I forget which one. I don't regard off topic, but which one was it that you had me shapeshifted to Mystique? Because it's so funny in hindsight,
it was
really.
probably Days of Future Past, I think. Oh
Oh
no, no,
yeah,
no, no, yeah,
because she.
no, yeah, because I was
I
doing the
think.
Quicksilver thing, I think.
Yeah, because like she was like a big focal point of that movie.
Yeah, it wasn't First Class that we did that in. In First Class, you were just wearing the little yellow uniforms.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So, like I said though, so she's talking about how Superman needs to speak for where he stands for, and I said this. He didn't even get a chance to open his mouth because, surprise, surprise, Lex Luthor blew up the whole thing. And I thought it would have been interesting. I would have really been into it when Superman landed on Capitol Hill and was going to testify about how he sees things and why he acts and all that kind of stuff. But even before then, he was over there talking to his mom and Lois about how, I keep trying to do the right thing, but this and that keeps dogging me. And then even that line where he tells him, Superman was never real. It was a dream of a guy from Kansas. So there's that. And you got him also getting told by his mom where you can be their angel, their guardian, be all of it or be none of it because you never owed this place a damn thing. I'm surprised none of them broke into an over there speech. Which, by the way, I can say right now, I cannot see Mr. Mush, Pa Kent in this version telling Superman about over there.
You see, kids, those kids in that school bus were over there, and over there needs to take care of itself.
That'll always
You
never.
remember that lesson, boy? Yes, Pa.
That'll forever always be my favorite random gag that was meant to be a gag, but it kind of did. Where people in the comments reference over there. So, like I
I'm
said,
pretty sure it'll come up as like one of his top 15 missed jokes in of a top fourth
and
wall.
for Man of Steel,
And I'm sure he would be more than happy to do that.
although
Probably do all different variations of it.
now I know for a fact though he did admit he didn't realize he was making a Star Wars Episode 1 the game reference when they started the episode Star Wars thing. He said, "All right, the door's open, let's go." He said, not realizing it was an actual line Qui-Gon said in the PS1 game.
Huh.
But yeah, so getting off topic, but yeah, so uh, how do you think? Like I said, in this one, we hear him do his stuff. The Hammer of Baravia attacks the city, demanding for Superman, which we all know is a ploy by Lex to try to get public opinion stirred against him. Because one of the guys, as he's being picked up and sees the Baravia guy say, "You have been warned," and whatnot, he says, "You should have done that stuff in Jonapur." One of the guys, regular guys, says that. I don't think he was one of Luther's paid guys. I think he was just a guy who's seeing this other heavy hitter actually kick Superman's ass, and tell them all that's going to happen to the rest of you if you guys keep messing with Baravia. And you got this regular off the road citizen guy saying you shouldn't have done that. And you got that other scene where Lois Lane is doing her one-on-one interview with Superman as he requested, and she's raising up stuff, and even he's going like, really, yeah.
But
Like he was trying to be coy, like when he said, "Oh, we had a conversation about what? It's between us," and she did not like that answer. And he says, "Okay, well, I took him to a cactus, and I told him that he wouldn't mess with Jonathan again." And she's all saying, "So you tortured him?"
so you tortured him.
No, 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 no. It's
No,
not.
it's like
The needles weren't even that big.
cactus, like
So yeah, so the idea that Superman, is a powerful guy who decides, because he said in the end he was only representing himself doing good. Hearing people, in need made him stop that conflict because innocent people were going to die, and he can't stand that. Now, let's compare that versus, he's trying to get info on Luthor and everything like that, and this Batman character in Gotham. And then he sees a newscast about, a fire factory in Mexico City during a Day of the Dead festival, and he just has to go over there. One hand, yes, it's great that he saved her, but he does have a look on his face like, this had to come up now before I had a chance to, really find out stuff.
and he always had. I don't know why exactly I had to do it. Every time that Superman does a good thing, he always had like this face of Lord is like, but is this really what I meant to do? It's like, motherfucker, you literally just started your career off like as early as like the freaking first grade where you pulled your like busts of your schoolmates out of the river.
And then on top of that, shouldn't he be thinking about what his father Darrell sent him to? They will fall, they will stumble, but they will join you in the sun. You will help them accomplish wonders. And he's trying to do that.
Actually, now that you bring it up, I think he totally forgot all about his alien father in the sequels.
Yeah, because he was what needed him to get back to helping was the ghost of Kevin Costner in my boat talking about the time he let horses drown. And
It's
again, it's baffling, but we're just trying to say in comparison to what we're seeing right now with this Superman. Like I'm pretty sure when they heard Superman stops conflict in Baravia, I'm pretty sure they thought this might be serious, but good on Clark for doing the right thing. That's probably what Ma and Pa were thinking. I mean, hell, Pa said as much when he says, "I couldn't be more prouder of you," while breaking into tears.
yeah.
But like I'm saying though, is
But
that
yeah, like Jones makes a good point considering the fact that almost every decision, like story and character and design wise, everything feels like James Gunn looked at everything Zack Snyder did and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do everything the opposite because clearly this guy did not know Superman."
even though they're good friends, and he doesn't see like that's why I'm
Especially, yeah, look, guys, the Rick and Morty scene that's circulating viral with James Gunn and Zack Snyder, who yes, they both actually voiced themselves in that moment. They are actually pretty good friends.
yeah, and they're making a hyper exaggerated joke versions of themselves. Like they made Zach super buff. Like yeah, I know he works out, but they made Zach look like the big buff Chad and James Gunn the pencil arms. Remember, he's the man of steel, not the man of conversation. Even though this movie's climax is a conversation, but they were just again they were just taking the piss out of each other for a laugh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but but you have to agree that Zack really didn't understand like okay, he got the fundamentals right. Like it's like it, alien ejected from a dead world, the rise of our Earth. It was Zack's job was literally just to put Superman into our world. Like, how would our world react if we actually did get a Superman? And to his credit, he did understand that our world at the time was kind of really hyped up on like fear mongering and propaganda and all that other fun bullshit that, of course, you'd find a person who wants to have good intentions to like, yeah, but what are you really here for? Are you really gonna control us? You're able to bench press like steel like it's nothing. You're probably gonna like force us into indoctrination or something.
In fact, I'm pretty much certain if Man of Steel Superman was played exactly the same way, but in this Superman universe, Lex would be 100% in the right, actually, in terms of the way his fears are. Yeah, we all know Superman's here to do the right thing, but if he performed himself the way the things went down in Man of Steel, I think that everyone would really be saying, "Are we sure this guy's here to help?" I mean, because we hear it during a TV montage, how they're talking about how we have lots of people coming behind dangerous figures of power and the tragedies of history leads to that. And people are saying, well, maybe he isn't a devil figure or an angel figure. Maybe he's just a guy trying to do the right thing. And that's the one guy speaking sense in that whole montage of the talking heads talking about what's he here and what's he standing for. And I still remember you referenced Lewis's funny bit where the whole thing is Charlie Rose telling him, "Must there be a Superman?" And she's like, "Well, there is." So you're basically saying, "Uh."
Oh,
Like gosh, like again.
like thank you for that insightful talk, dear Senator. No wonder it took a while before Superman decided to come up to have a discussion with you guys.
Yeah. Oh my god. But like I said though, I mean, I respect and always will love Batman vs Superman for the stuff it did that I enjoyed. I gave it high praise when it came out, and I kind of still do. But
I
oh
mean, I just
oh and
this movie is probably gonna be the newest. Like, I have a complicated love hate relationship with it. The last previous movie that I had with with Godzilla '98, which now I've come to love it mostly just for what it does. It's doing its own thing.
exactly same thing with this. But I'm just laughing. I'm looking at it going by comparison. It's like ouch. It's not even. Everyone's doing the Simpsons
Like,
meme. Stop it! Stop it! He's already dead. Because
but is like the big difference that we see amounts to like, well, there's widespread panic and destruction, but in here Superman is always able to make sure that nothing happens to any buildings. He like kind of de-escalates things as much as he possibly can. even to the point where he'll even come down to save a freaking squirrel of all things.
I still think that squirrel's a reference to Badge, the Green Lantern squirrel.
But yeah, another thing is that we have um what's another difference? Okay, so we have a Lex Luthor who's also as eccentric, but he actually still is clear, concise, respected to the point like his like entire barrage of people are completely behind him. Whereas I feel like the people that were working with him in BVS were just wanting to let him do his thing. Otherwise, he is just good like giving Jolly Ranchers and force feeding in weird ways.
That guy was a
He's like,
Senator
yeah,
A.
just do your thing and just leave your Jolly Ranchers to yourself.
Yeah, it's Cherry. Boop. I, I, I am baffled by some of the choices that Eisenberg was given to do with Luther. Which I understand they're going for eccentric millionaire, and people say, but like I said, going back to that famous line from Knox, the rich, you know why they can be eccentric? Because they can afford to. That's why. But gee, or God, in hindsight, some of the people we've seen crash out that have billions and billions of dollars are just going. I mean, we all know there's the obvious guys you can talk about now, but there's even that one kid who crashed for a Porsche or something and it caused vehicular manslaughter, and his excuse was I had affluenza, a made up thing that talks about how he's just so privileged that he didn't really know how to control the thing properly. I mean, it's a very stupid case, but that was the fact that he tried to say that oh I got affluenza like it's just like rich punk kid that got someone killed and he tried to get off with that. And like I said, but yeah, like I say, the whereas Luther is eccentric and rich, and this one to the point where the Congress people, I mean the Secretary of Defense people are all like, yeah, I want to put it past Luther, but this does look legit. Like they are trying to block Luther at every turn too, like it was in BVS where like Senator Finch did not want to give him his import license for the kryptonite. But again, I think he's
But
only.
I feel like you're like they're like technically I kind of want to believe him and he has valid points, but we have to stick to the rules and we have to need like credible evidence. Man, I wish we were in a universe where like rules of logic like went completely out the door.
Yeah, because you see, like, yeah, like Crossbones. I mean, Rick Flag Senior is like all saying how what about those times he did all this and that, saying that they say we can't exactly put the cuffs on him when he's actually growing popular. But Luther points out he's getting less popular by the day because there's all this all this actions are making people like go crazy on social media. But both the Secretary of Defense and everyone are like, yeah. Unless you can prove that he's going to really do something to us, we can't take action. Which, following Law and Order, what a novel concept.
The days when that actually used to be a thing that we could use.
But yeah, like I said though, because if this was Nicholas Holt Lex telling the scared people of the government in the BVS universe, they probably would say, "Here's everything, Lex. Go." We'll take him in right in front of a bunch of kids. He'll be at a firehouse talking to kids, and the cops and Ultraman will just come by and facepalm him on the curb right in front of all those people. Well, he even points out when he turns himself over to Planet Watch, he even says, "This is unnecessary. I'm not even resisting arrest. I'm coming on my own accord. I wasn't even read my rights." And then, of course, Flag has to ring off. Well, technically, as a non-member of this Earth, those rights don't even apply to you. But I know that Flag wasn't doing it to be a dick. He's more like, "Hey, Soups, my hands are tied, but I gotta make this look legit."
Yeah. Let's see. What else was it that were? Well, definitely a big opposite is the fact that um, they kind of put. I know there's kind of like a little bit of discourse about how they handle it, but I feel like it helps lead credence to the message of the overall movie of like nature versus nurture. But he's got definitely like really took the House of L down a peg, where as opposed to Zack Snyder, who made them be like they're the only ones that realize, oh my God, Krypton has become so uh weaned out and automated, factory floor, to the point where we have lost our reason to have free will. Luckily, we had enough foresight to have enough free will to conceive of you, Kal-El.
Yeah.
which is completely the opposite of what I was intentioning, where we were saying we release free will, but we had enough foresight to have the
Oh
free will
boy,
to
I've
make our
gone
choice to continue. And wow, this script is really convoluted when you think about it.
to quote Spider Man.
It's starting to sound like a bad comic book plot.
But yeah, so like I said, that was also Smallville because he didn't know his birth parents, but all the good in him comes from Jonathan and Martha and Ed O'Toole and Jonathan Snyder, who really embody the Kents. I think they were my favorite version of the Kents, bar none. Like I love the Kents in this one. The Kents in DCU, kind of hit or miss depending. The Kents, we don't really get much of the Kents in the Grieve Superman films, so I mean, I can't really make an opinion about them one way or the other. So yeah, obviously, I mean, other than the animated series, I think my favorite Kents is the ones in Smallville. So they're the ones that told Clark the whole, uh, you know, you gotta do this stuff with your power. I mean, there's a great scene that people says that greatly highlights the immigration issue is when there's a scene in Smallville. This guy shared in this clip trying to talk about the whole controversy about the immigration thing, saying, "Well, nobody else, the dipshits, he's a immigrant." And they show a scene from Lois and Clark because Dean Cain had to be commented on, and he says, "Yeah, I think they're changing too much." Like, yeah, oh, and he kept talking about, "No, okay, let me show you a real scene of how Superman handles immigration, Dean." And it's a scene from Smallville where Annette O'Toole is telling Clark about how he gotta be careful what this guy, undocumented guy, is trying to shield and everything like that. But he says, "Was it any different when you guys fixed my papers?" And she's trying to say,
You were an entirely different situation.
and then he tried to point out how it's basically the same, and because she said you gotta stand for law and order. Well, was it law and order when you and that whole scene? And you could tell, on one hand, yeah, she strongly believes in her convictions, but also she's thinking there is a tad bit of hypocrisy about the difference between saving an undocumented kid and saving an undocumented alien from another planet, and the difference is by a narrow margin. So that is a great scene that tackles how Superman would like probably view handling immigration and stuff like that. And that was Smallville who did it. I mean, Smallville I think is slept on too much. It's such a good
Wait,
super show.
I'll I'll get around to it. For some reason, I only managed to get seasons 1, 3, and 5. They're the only ones that I was able to find at like a flea market. But anyways, back to my point. Uh, you mean, yeah. So basically, James Gunn kind of like dehumified the House of L as opposed to where the honestly like it really did feel like the Krypton backstory kind of like took 30 minutes. I mean, hell, at least it's better than making a freaking sci-fi show out of like a whole season out of his grandfather for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But in the complete opposite, he managed to give more humanity and more sense of uh, giving Clark a feeling that he actually belongs and all that, as opposed to Man of Steel, where they're just like I don't know how I honestly can't top how much frustration Linkara had for Kevin Costner's John Kent, because this
Like you said, Robot
of
Chicken
all
did a
things,
fun
like
parody.
how in the world is this man what like raised Clark Kent to become the type of person he is? Like when all he's done is nothing but being paranoid and like to the point where he thinks like, well, I mean, I'm kind of on one hand, like letting kids die is like a really bad thing, but on the other hand, if they knew about you, oh,
So,
actually no, on retrospect, yeah, fuck those kids.
well, someone said it best. All it took was a little line dialogue and maybe some improv from Kevin that would have worked when he tells him, "What are we supposed to do? Let him die?" Where Jonathan's like, "No, no, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just maybe this is bigger than both of us." Like something like that to him to say. Saving those kids was the right call, but you got to be careful about it. Something a little humanity would have helped in that minute. I mean, and it doesn't help that we have that dichotomy of that versus the heartwarming "You are my son" moment within the span of 30 seconds in that scene.
Whereas suppose in the James Gunn one, uh, I don't know why people were kind of criticizing the portrayal of kids here as like country bumpkins. Like, well, they are like a small like farm family in Kansas. It's they're literally in a town that's called Smallville. Like you can't get more on the nose than that. But even then, John was able to show like yeah this if like I was raised by like this father figure, I definitely would be the type of Superman who would say golly after like recuperating from a huge smackdown at the beginning of the movie, or wanting to protect uh, people and things, dogs and even squirrels from like giant monsters. Hell, even I wanted to find a way to get the giant monster away from a city, or maybe like understandably try to euthanize it the painless way as possible.
Without drilling out its gooey eye bits and putting bombs in its stomach. You know, it's funny. I like that sad little head shake he does when he realizes the poor thing's going to explode, and you can actually see its guts rupturing, and his expression. He's just like thinking, like, he's thinking like this could have been. He even said we could have like taken it somewhere to study, or at least put it down more peacefully. And then Guy Garner's like, whatever, you know, kaiju steaks for everybody.
But yeah, Pa Kent gave this like very emotional speech, and it's like, yeah, this is I can definitely see why Superman is the way he is. He got the best possible scenario to get this family to raise him of all people.
And you see it through all the home videos they show at the very end. I mean, and like you said, I think the biggest fatherly advice is when he told him, well, maybe what you thought that message said says way more about you than what anybody else means it to mean. Like, that's, like he said, you thought they were telling you, serve the world, do good. And the fact that they aren't telling him that, but Clark still came up with that on his own shows you just how much of a good fella he is.
Exactly.
So, yeah, they can't by comparison. And then, like I said, Luther by comparison, all that stuff. And, the, yeah, I think we got that part covered. But we also got to talk about how he talks about how he's living in a world of cardboard and how Superman, he may be early in his career, but he's still pretty damn powerful. That he's still able to hold back a lot of his power and momentum, so that he won't like even end the lives of people trying to blow him away.
hmm And so there's a lot of people that kind of notice that this Superman gets his ass beat and knocked around a lot, and I mean, to be fair, like I don't hear a lot of people bring up that complaint when you see Captain America get his ass beat so much to the point where he's like barely on his two legs and just giving a smirk, saying, "I could do this all day."
Well, hell, even in Man of Steel, by comparison, he got thrown around a lot, and some of it looked like it did hurt him. Like when like some of the things with fighting Feora or Nam, it looked like he did get a few hits where he's like that actually hurt. And you see him in a weakened state when he goes into the Kryptonian atmosphere ship and he's up bleeding over the place, but we don't call his Superman weak. Mm-hmm.
Or when he got his ass beat by Batman of all things. But oh, I guess people were like, "Yeah."
The Kryptonite.
To be fair, it is Batman. It's like anyone would like get knocked down a peg if it's Batman fighting. Then
I don't know. Like I said, yeah, like I said, the only time he was like nigh invulnerable was in the Snyder Cut when he came back, when he kicked the entire ass of the Justice League, while in a resurrected madness state, and when he completely solo Steppenwolf to the point where you wonder why the rest of the league is even there.
yeah, that's. Hmm.
um,
And to be fair, I do still like the Snyder cut of Justice League to the point. It's it's mostly the fact that James like Zach did actually have an idea of how to have all these characters have a moment in the movie.
yes, it's true.
Like it's not like fuck poor Cyborg literally got the shaft in the Josh cut. I don't know. Josh could have tried to do something with him, but like the most he could do is like have him on his father, and even then, it still kind of feels like it's kind of scripted to reconcile the father figure. Whereas at
Whereas
least this act is
a full
a
arc.
lot more built up and a full on arc, and you actually see like oh my god when he is able to like see the entire world in a technological sense. Like that really showed you how he fits in among the Justice League as like an actual able-bodied individual welcomed into the team.
Like if Superman's a god in the physical world, then Cyborg is a god in the digital world. Like when he mentioned how he could control the entirety of Earth's arsenal and disable it or use it all at once was entirely in his hands. You're like, damn. Like you
And
can,
people were afraid of Superman, but now we got like this guy
and then
to worry about.
the whole controlling the world markets. I mean, like everything can be traced in a digital footprint, and he uses that to help find out where Steppenwolf is when he realizes that his father heated the cube in the sacrificial moment to figure it out. Like, see, that he needed a whole ass movie for that to work. I'm sure when if Zach cut it down to a more runnable 2 hours, he still would have found a way to make it work. I think the only reason the Snyder cuts 4 hours is because of all the 20-minute long post credit scenes that happen after the Superman opens his shirt moment.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, but back to Superman handling a world of cardboard, where he understands that there's a lot of damage he could do, but he's like keeping himself in check. He wants to make sure he doesn't do like any huge structural damage as possible. Like if like it is out of his hands if like a rift starts to tear a city apart, but he's willing to make sure that a building doesn't topple over a person when like they're in the crossroads of it. Hell,
Yeah,
he'll hold a freaking foot up of a kaiju over a dog until like the dog gets to move away, and at that point he had to like blow it away and then allow the foot to come down on him, just so that he could pull up Bugs Bunny maneuver of all things. I'm still waiting for someone on TikTok to edit in. Here we are, Pistol Beach, and all the classic kitty.
I must have took that wrong turn at
Like you
Albuquerque.
see like the trailer there, then they'll Photoshop Bugs Bunny to pop up.
I must have taken the wrong. I still love that "Where's the dog" Luther meme I shared you from the Elmer Fudd episode. Wabbit wobble, twobble.
Where's the dog?
And then yeah. So like I said though, I think the best example of this is when he fights the raptors because he makes an effort not to kill any other. In fact, the body count in this movie is surprisingly low. I think we only got like poor Malik, the minister of Baravia, and a couple of grunts here and there that were like killed by the Justice Gang. But for the most part, Superman tried to keep the cat. He even said when he disrupted.
Hell, even with the Mr. Terrific scene with the 5 long years sequence, like I paid attention. Like the spears either knocked them out with concussive force or pretty much tasered them with like shock therapy. Because like literally everyone is like still moaning and like limping and like at first I thought, oh wait, no, I see some of the armor bodies aren't moving, but oh wait, those are kind of armor. They're kind of a little bit too heavy to kind of sway a little bit if they've been knocked out. So I guess they could be. Well, damn, even Mr. Terrific understands to not be graphic and gruesome.
I think I think they went all hard on the kaiju because, well, hey, it's a kaiju. It's got to be put down. It's going to cause lots of property damage. I think that was their point of view. They're not like the authority to
Yeah,
like. Yeah.
but yeah, I think the only ones that really got it were the ones that messed with the Metamorpho, who like spewed sulfuric acid on them.
Oh, we don't. Yeah, we don't really see them die, but we know that they probably took a lot of hits. And
And it fell into the Proton River, which is not something you want to get stuck in.
yeah, I mean, when Superman was fighting the guys, I noticed he was trying to push them and punch them away into the bank rather than into the Proton River. If you noticed, he was really that
Oh
keen on
yeah,
trying to preserve life.
I was mostly focused on how much he was keeping the baby aloft and free out of being dragged down.
Yeah, and then he also he like I said, during the fight with the Hammer of Baravia, he was trying his best not to like go into oncoming traffic, and he even told the Mali and everybody, you gotta go. You're not. It's not safe here." And then yeah, they kept saying, "Well, we gotta. You saved us so much. It's time for us to help you." And
Which is so refreshing considering the fact that in the trailers, when I saw people booing us, I just rolled my eyes and went, really, are we still stuck in the whole people can't trust Superman for anything just because he's able to fly and shoot lasers from his eyes? You can't treat him as like a welcome visitor or anything. Like, can we just? I guess we have to go back to the '70s because that was like the last time anyone was happy to have a superhero, uh, be amongst them.
Yeah,
But no, they're all cool about it. They're still understanding. Like, man, you kind of handled the Brave thing. That was a little bit. I mean, nobody died, but still, that's probably going to cause a lot of problems for your work.
because she
It's only when the message gets shared by Luther about uh, his birth parents saying like, "Oh yeah, Earth is such an easy target. Make sure to play the like fiddle and also get plenty of wives. Like
noticed
I
that.
gotta tell you this, you're gonna get your father's genes."
Not to throw under the bus one parent, but notice that most of the inflammatory stuff came from Lara. Crush down anybody who gives you resistance and make sure you find many wives. Whereas Jor-El's still all like, yeah, you know, rule with strength, my son. Be proud, make Krypton proud. His message was more glowing, and it's Lara who's throwing in the, oh yeah, and crush anybody who doesn't agree with you. Lara was the one that was throwing fuel on the fire.
Damn, what a cold-hearted bitch.
But
Now I'm actually starting to realize why the Russell Crowe Jor-El didn't include her digital consciousness into that little crystal given to
maybe
Kal-El.
I don't think she would have sided with Zod though. But I was like, are you sure this Jor-El married Lara or Feora? Evolution always wins. I know, but I have a feeling we'll get more about that message in follow-ups. In fact, someone says
I
it.
I don't know. I actually kind of feel like I want to have the Kryptonians just kind of be assholes because I think I tried to mention it in passing in that review, but it bears to repeat. Why the hell would they think to send their own baby infant out and not bring themselves along?
I don't know.
They feel like
The,
they need like if they were to arrive in uh the Kingdom of Earth, they would kind of be understandably seen as like, oh, these are kind of like outcasts and weirdos. But if you're just implemented in as the baby and infant and grew among them to like be none the wiser, no, who's gonna like have suspicions of a little child that's different?
yeah.
And also the fact that by and large, most depictions of Jor-El has him being a scientist, and of course the scientist is gonna think of ways to kind of preserve Krypton's legacy, and then of course he would want to have his own son go out, mostly because he is able to kind of procreate and create more uh, Kryptonians in the gene pool.
But yeah, like it says, it is rather interesting. People says if maybe Superman is that bothered by it, maybe you could ask Gary if he knew more about the mission. But maybe because of um, because of the damage he took, maybe Gary doesn't want to. Or maybe Superman figures, you know what, it's not worth digging into. But if anyone would know the answer, it'd probably be his older cousin Kara, who probably was because in most continuity she is older than Superman, but due to relative time relativity shenanigans, she's comes at the age she left Krypton, whereas Cal aged a full 3 decades and stuff like that.
I think in the Supergirl World of Tomorrow, they kind of inferred that they're aging due to like being bathed in yellow sun. Their aging is like kind of slowed down. So she is technically older, but like her aging like has like slowed. She's not immortal in a way, but she is able to have a much longer lifespan than most of her folks from Krypton. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but like I said, I wonder if the message will better be. I mean, we don't need an answer right away, but I'm pretty sure that's a seed for something down the line. I mean, maybe Zod is not the outlier, but the standard. Maybe if we do get a Zod.
Which I really hope we don't, because like I feel like no, this is Zod. I feel is like being the next Joker to Batman, where like in every media, every big media say, okay, we get it. Like Batman is Batman and Joker equals. They are like yin yang, they're opposites. They have different ideologies. But does every single iteration need to like put the Joker in as soon as possible?
By the way,
Like to the point where even Robert Pattinson's the Batman originally had Joker, but even Matt Reeves said like, yeah, this guy's really kind of inconsequential by and large, story wise. I'm just gonna omit him
on
completely.
top of that, the they're looking at the wrong character for Superman's Joker. Superman's Joker is Brainiac. You got this human, loving, compassionate being versus a being of cold logic. So Brainiac, I think, is the one guy that we've been begging for years, and people keep saying, no, 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 don't ask for Brainiac because I think there's a Brainiac.
Like I said, Nico Bellic there's a big plot hole in Superman. Why couldn't Superman with his X-ray vision see Ultraman's face? He could have known that Ultraman is his clone.
Huh.
Well, what is usually a factor that blocks Superman's X-rays? That it would be lead. It goes without saying. It would probably be uh, Kevlar lace lead that's blocking his image.
And do you think that Luthor would want? Well, then again, maybe he doesn't want Ultraman to use X-ray vision as well. I don't even know if Ultraman knows how to use X-ray vision. We know he knows how to use
Like
laser vision. That's for sure.
to be fair, most of the commands Lex gives, like he has the cameras, he has the ability to see different thermal vision, night vision, all that. Like he's got that going. Like he can give Ultraman the specs of how to see things.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so but like I said, I don't think Superman was concerned about Ultraman's identity. I think he was just trying to stop Ultraman from stopping him from getting somewhere. But yeah, that like I said, I know there was a few other things that could have been like, well, why didn't Superman just do this or that? And we're just really going real into the weeds with that one. They mentioned kryptonite while talking to Red Flag Senior. He's got a point there. So I don't know. Uh, I guess Superman wasn't looking. It's like when he didn't see the lead. When he didn't see the lead line wheelchair in Batman vs Superman, because he says he wasn't looking for it. So maybe he wasn't looking for Ultraman's identity.
Honestly, I feel like most in the Snyder first, they kind of forgot X-ray vision was even a thing, even though they kind of showed it being used once or twice.
I know
Like
when he was looking for
what's
Martha.
what's the, what's what's in the flashback? The second time with friggin' Lois Lane getting hit by that Kryptonian bot.
Yeah, no, it's really hard to portray X-ray vision sometimes. Like a practical way to make it make sense. I mean, it was kind of funny in Smallville when it came as a puberty, and he would like see his friend's muscles all of a sudden, but then fall on the ground and see the girls' locker room open up.
Yeah,
Anyway, but I don't know. Like I says, even during the fight with Ultraman, I noticed he went a little harder on him when he was masked. But he was still trying not to like hurt him. He was even telling both Ultraman and the engineer, there's still a chance to get out of this. He was telling them all. You don't have to listen to Luthor. Ultraman
mm-hmm.
took that personally and started like jumping on him more. And even then, he did seem a little bit regretful when he had to drop the bus on Ultraman by saying, sorry, kiddo.
I'm sure Linkara's gonna have a little bit of a tiffy on it, but
What?
at the same time, it's gonna feel like, yeah, who knows? Maybe the Black Claw could actually be like putting him away. It could be like another Red Skull
We think he's
situation
gone
where
and he'll
instead of
show up.
I think he's gone, but he'll show up later.
Now, looking back at it, when I said it would have been funny if Ultraman was revealed to be Henry Cavill and everything, I think that might have sent the wrong message optics wise. That the bigger, dumber, brutish clone version of Superman is actually the previous version, almost like if it's Gunn talking down on Snyder's version. So maybe yeah, I thought, well, as fun as
Like,
that Easter egg would have been, that probably would have sent the wrong vibes.
yeah, like they could say the interviews as much as they want both sides that Zack sees Gunn's friend, James Gunn sees Zack Snyder's friend. The message was still got muddled. It was still just as it would have been buried just as much as like when Mark Hamill initially said like I did not initially was for how they were going to portray Luke in The Last Jedi, but as soon as I read the script, I looked to uh, the director has said, "I am literally your tool. Like, lend me to my acting to you."
Well, yeah, and I was pointing out how then again, Superman didn't really take time to figure out others like Batman is Bruce Wayne, so that's also true. Like it says, sometimes it feels like Superman himself forgets he has X-ray vision. I mean, I know he did use that in World's Finest when Batman was able to determine that Superman was Clark Kent, but then Clark Kent determined, yeah, you're Bruce Wayne because X-ray vision. Even Batman was like, wait, what?
You peaked.
Yeah. Oh God.
Bruce didn't know about Clark until after he got peaked. It's like, oh,
Right
okay,
back
you want
at
to
you.
play that game?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll do this too, asshole.
Yeah, oh god, I still love the going back to Luther. Now I can finally determine at least determine the Flash's true identity. Take off his mask. I have no idea who this is.
But at least his voice sounds pretty interesting.
But yeah, so the yeah, like I said though, I do you think Superman should have made more of an effort not to let Ultraman fall, or do you think Ultraman was just too much of a risk to let go? Because I mean, he did seem really regretful that he had to like dislocate his own arm and send him and literally throw him under the bus.
It's like really the hardest choices.
Well, yeah, like I said,
And plus we're really getting short on time considering the rift was going to keep going to the point where it's not going to get sealed back up.
and become a black hole. Yeah, and then
I'm pretty sure if they hadn't dealt with it enough, if it had gotten to the point of no return, like I don't know, 85% of the Earth is split into, like there is no way any amount of code would like breach it back together. Like even Superman kind of noticed that the bridging kind of like made the world kind of a little bit misaligned.
yeah, that's when he's pointing out to him that it could have been a little off, and even Mr. Terrific took offense to it. Like, what do you want me to do? Rebuild the whole thing back together again? No, no, I'm saying it looks fine. It's just a bit off. Unbelievable, man. Looks, man, I can be such a jerk.
Actually, funny enough, like well, get off the list for a bit, but point out like there's a lot of people that are kind of a little bit upset the post-credit scenes are basically nothing burgers. Um, but to be fair, James Gunn has a very valid reason for doing this. He feels like whenever uh, when Marvel started out, the after credits were supposed to be meant to do a they were helped to build the idea like, hey, these movies are actually connected. One piece is integral to another, and it's gonna build up to this thing we haven't seen done in a very long time, a big team up movie of things. And for the most part, it worked. Mostly because they knew where they were going. They knew what things were going to be greenlit and what was going to be following. They like it. Like they could say like Incredible Hulk could have like failed or something and it didn't make as much money as they would hope, but they're still gun ho to keep following up to that big moment.
Now, Nico does bring up a good point that I think it does raise the question why he didn't he use his Clark skills or X-ray vision. It says he's I also about Ultraman because Superman met a being who can match him physically for the first time ever. Wouldn't he be at least a little curious about him? Like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Hammer Baravia outfit was definitely a lead line, so that's why he couldn't see that when he saw Ultraman again. Like, hey, wait a second, you're the Hammer of Baravia thing, because I think he was too busy getting his ass kicked to really.
Also, you have to remember that metahumans are an actual thing. It could have just been like, oh, there's another metahuman that just popped up that
This is
is a little bit more. And not only that, but you also have to remember that it's not the strength that got him knocked down. It's the fact that who's in charge of the big brute knows all of Superman's moves and how to counter them and go in the offensive.
and,
He's literally made a huge battleship tactic list.
and also people did say this too, but I think it makes sense with Luther's arrogance that well, if he knows 3 years studying Superman, why didn't he figure out he was Clark Kent? Well, maybe the idea crossed his mind, but he probably thought that's ridiculous or stupid. Like, no way a mere god would make himself look like such a big oaf, that kind of thing. I mean, we saw the same thing in All Star Superman, where he's smack talking Superman without realizing he's actually talking to Superman when he's talking about how much he actually likes Kent by comparison.
And also the fact that most times, most people don't really think that Superman has a secret identity.
And of
I
course,
mean, hell, like with the Justice Gang, they're kind of like out in public. They know who they are. They're like Guy Gardner. There's Mr. Terrific. There's Hawk Girl. Like, but they're always like who they are basically almost 24/7 essentially. Live out in the Hall of Justice now,
And even
and most people they assume like, oh, Superman just kind of like this is like his day job. I'm sure like if he's not here, he's probably like somewhere else doing something.
yeah, and even Guy Garner talks about how they're both guys of the cloth. He talks about them hypno glasses. So yeah, because yeah, I mean, it's funny how my friend said what would be a funny spin-off or sequel idea is that Lex Luthor's in Belle Reve prison, where Task Force X and Suicide Squad happens. I might add, he's in Belle Reve, and he manages to orchestrate from beyond prison. Get this guy. I need you to get this guy killed to hurt Superman. The guy he interviews, Clark Kent. So they keep trying to kill Clark Kent, and they're going, something's wrong. Oh, he's not going down.
But yeah, to go back to the after credits thing, uh, James Gunn pointed out that when he was doing like Guardians of the Galaxy, he was like really, really frustrated that he had to like bring up characters that he had no intentions of uh, doing much with. Like he didn't really want to do Adam Warlock. He had to actually like really figure out how to handle him to like make it work. Even after Marvel said, you know, we have to have Adam Warlock. But and to a much bigger thing to note is that James didn't really want Thor to be in the Guardians of the Galaxies after like Avengers Endgame had him join them. He's like, no, I don't want Thor in. I don't know much about Thor, how to write for him. Can you just like have him jump off like his next movie before I do mine? And like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. It's not part of Guardians. It's whatever.
Well, it's nice that we actually have an active comment for once. Now, here he's saying, why was Henry Cavill Superman criticized for showing no expression and emotions? But if you look at All Star Superman, too, Superman has a straight face with no emotions all the time. Well, there's a difference. He's a little more laid back in that one because even though I think he got a sense of calmness knowing that his time is running out. That rather than worry about the future, he's figuring, I'm going to live for the moment right now and just kind of that definitely puts the God in Superman too. You know that I mean the famous image of him holding the globe comes from All Star Superman, and it's not that he wasn't showing emotion. It's just the direction that was given did not contribute to the story that was needed the way that they wanted it to. I mean, he has plenty of expression and emotion in Justice League theatrical, and when that happened, everybody jumped on him for that because of the horror CG that was required for his mustache due to the Mission Impossible fiasco.
Okay, I'm gonna finish my point on the after credits scene. There's basically Marvel has kind of really lost their way of like always setting up things, especially if there's risk of like they're not gonna be able to handle like Mordo. There's Mordo who has got teased at the end of Doctor Strange like
Oh
too many
God.
sorcerers, but that literally went nowhere to the point where like originally they were just gonna have him like be off screen by Scarlet Witch,
Oh, that would have pissed you
they
off.
realized like no people would be pissed. Let's at least try to do something with him.
When
And oh my god, the fucking Quantumania Kane Dynasty
oof,
tease, like
that
oh
really bit
so
them in the ass. That really bit
I'm
them.
I'm so happy that that got resolved in a fucking cartoon spin-off that nobody's gonna watch to think that that's gonna be part of the main line.
But still, God,
But yeah, but it really forces the point of why James is handling the DCU the way he is now. He is not like the most he does is have Supergirl show up because the movie is literally coming out next year. It's already being filmed. Gonna be it's already been greenlit. It's gonna happen. Like you didn't like throw in a hint of like Clayface or um what I
even
don't know
Batman.
yeah, or the Authority, but
Although
like
a friend of mine did.
he
Oh, go on.
he is focused on only making sure that stories get greenlit first before like they even put anything in. And I feel like that's the way to go because there's like I could make a list of all the things that got teased in like all the different Marvel project after credits that to this day have nothing resolved
Oh
or like
God.
followed up on.
Another Eternals one, the one with I don't want it, Kit Harington playing Black Knight, getting ready to open the sword, and you hear Mahershala Ali saying, "Wish you want to do that." And that's the only confirmation we have of Blade being in the MCU is that off-screen voiceover line.
Or the freaking Hulk's son being introduced. Like, oh, that's cool. Is he gonna be utilized in any way? Like maybe if the Red Hulk thing is coming up here. Nope.
Young,
Okay, yeah,
he's more of a young,
that's
he's more of a
not
young
here too.
Avengers, more of a young Avengers thing, and we know that Kamala and Kate are going to be a key of that, but we don't know. There is no Young Avengers project announced, so we don't even know that's going to happen. That's the thing.
And they keep teasing about it, but it's like why you tease about the Young Avengers if you don't have a Young Avengers project in the works? Like what are you doing? What's going? I've always been like trying to be a staunch defender of Marvel because I just don't want superhero movies to just stop. But even I had to like take a foot down and go like, guys, you are just spiraling yourselves out of control. You are going at too many places at once. Someone needs to get out of the kitchen and do other work
Well,
to like clean the floors, set up dishes.
we kind of got that with Thunderbolts having a direct thing for that, but that actually has been pretty much a scene from Doomsday.
But even then, at least you know that that's like they're doing that. And also that there's a movie that's gonna come out in like a few months that is gonna be leading to that scene that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but yeah, the Kang one is the big oof one where you look at it again, and you go, that bit them in the ass so hard, and the DC also fell into that a couple of times. Even before that, theatrical league Justice League. You better not be wasting my time, Luther. Shouldn't we form a league of our own? And then Doctor Savannah and the little Mister Mind worm in Shazam got no reference at all in Fury of the Gods, even though that's a follow up. I'm like, so is Mister Mind and Doctor Savannah still in the prison talking about when they're going to make their monster league?
At this point, I'm pretty much half convinced that Savannah is like hallucinating that there's a talking worm.
That was a deep cut too to bring Mister Mind. He actually is a real villain from the Shazam comics, so he's like a mind control bookworm or something like that. I don't know, but like you said,
Yeah, yeah, the after credits are just like little cute somethings. They're
he said he wanted them.
James Gunn is trying to get away from all
He
that.
says he wants
And honestly,
the ones that he does include to be fun little treats for the audience. He says the post credit scenes that he saw got the most reaction that weren't lead ups were his funny ones, like Stan Lee telling his story to all the watchers, and they decide to leave. And hey guys, wait, you're my ride home.
actually, wait, what? That reminds me. Whatever happens? Oh my God, I think there was another after credits thing that he did that would completely the fuck ass nowhere. Like I don't even think they even had a plan to. Like there's like the Ravagers being like formed up with Sylvester Stallone's
Let's
like
go
let's
to
do
steal
some shit.
some shit. Yeah, I think that was
And
just them
it's
being fun rather than it being a lead up. I think that was just him saying, again. I wanted them to have treats, so let's have Sylvester Stallone and his crew form the Ravagers again. Like that's in light of Yondu's sacrifice. That's more of a fun thing rather than we're gonna do a whole Ravager spin off with Sylvester Stallone. Miley Cyrus played the voice of the robot.
I don't know. A lot of different people would probably look at that scene in a different way.
I know I liked it because Sylvester Stallone was my favorite part of that movie, and I think the after credits for 3 was just Peter Quill at home with his dad.
Yeah.
So I mean, a chill
Well,
thing.
there was that, and also seeing the new Guardians being led by Rocket, discussing their music tastes.
Oh, that was sweet. But yeah, like I said, I do like James Gunn's approach on after credits. Oh, so then going back to our points here, we got to definitely talk about how kindness begets kindness is the big theme because when they asked him, "What do you think about making this an immigration story?" It's a world about inherent kindness, and you don't if you don't see that way, then go screw yourself. Was his response to people trying to get a rise out of him? He said it's about
Yeah.
kindness, and that is definitely the big drive of this movie.
It's the most basic human decency. If you're like still confused by that, then yeah, you've kind of like
Well,
lost your way as being a human being. Even I say you should go screw yourselves.
I mean, yeah, because they tried to make a whole big issue about him saying it's the story of an immigrant who comes trying to do the right thing, and like you saw the base of it with his people. I didn't represent nobody except myself trying to do good. and that was like his primary driving force. But yeah, but like
But
we,
you're right, because there's moments in the movie where we see like kindness being passed along, like comes back forward, where Superman, like off screen, we hear that Superman helped this uh vendor food stand guy, and he decided to bring the kindness back by literally going to the small crater that he landed in, like literally no further than like a few feet away from him, and literally help him out of it. Like Superman could literally be able to walk it off, but he's like, no, 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 let me help you out. That was a huge fall you took. Let me just get you out of here.
yeah, because he said he tells him right away, you got to get out of here. It's dangerous. But he says, no, no, no. You've done so much for us. It's time for us to return the favor. That was his deal. And I remember some guys saying they were concerned about Superman when they saw that in the trailer when the guy's all Superman and lifts him up. That was just such a big like they get it. This is gonna give me what I wanted. And
And we see that happen again, where Metamorpho uh, sees Superman help save his son and helps him get out and escape from uh, the pocket dimension, and even hears that despite that they got out like barely an inch of their lives, Superman is still worried about everyone else is trapped in there. He's like, there's still a lot of people back there. You have to help him. Of course, he's got kryptonite poisoning, so he can't really do much.
because
And
they'll
even after Metamorpho, see him like walk off, and you think, well, that's the last we'll see him. He sees the news of the people rising up and wanting to stand up against the Bravia soldiers, and even puts up their symbol of their hope, the symbol of Superman.
and yeah, and like I said, at first Rex didn't want nothing to do with Superman. He was Luthor's threat of help me attain Superman or else your kid gets it. So that's why he kept telling Superman, "Don't talk to me." He gets the sense of human sadness when Malit is killed, and he tells him, "I didn't do nothing," and he like I say he didn't deserve to die. Basically crying. That's why he changes his mind to say, "Can you get my son out of here?" And that's why he turns off the kryptonite. And like he says, yeah, when he sees the moment of kindness, like even though Guy has his issues with Big Blue, and what if the story is that he really is here to conquer, that he's supposed to stop him? Then when he saw the people just begging for this hope of Superman, I'm pretty sure he was even probably either he decided on his own or talked to Lord saying Maxwell Lord saying, "Listen, can we go ahead and give him a hand this time? Big Blue can't do it this time." Like, and maybe Maxwell Lord was all like, sure, maybe good for the Justice Gang publicity.
But yeah, because like if like they see like all these people as these outliers cheering for Superman after what he did, it's like it's good public opinion press for the Justice Gang.
Mm-hmm. It says call ended, but I'm still in the call with you, thankfully. Uh,
Yeah, I'm still here with you.
Yeah, okay, I saw it. Yeah, but yeah, like I'm saying though, is that but you could tell when Hawk Girl and Green Lantern see the news and they say how they're outnumbered. It's going to be a massacre if nothing happens right now, but they're still clinging on to Superman. They're just thinking, well, damn, maybe we should. And I guess it's a big deal when Guy forms the cube and tells him, "Sorry, buddy, Superman couldn't make it. You got an upgrade," and that's a big deal that they save everybody. You got Kendra telling Metamorpho how he did good out there. Maybe you should be part of the team. Like, point is, they return the act of kindness. Uh,
Mhm.
and I still like that that Superman. Oh, I forgot to mention that funny gag with Mr. Terrific when he mentions how he can track Superman's movements. Even if he's died, those bots should have been able to tell him where he went. So he told him saying, how you put nanomachines in his bloodstream. Yeah, I do that to everybody. You see Hawk Girl's like, wait, what?
When the hell did you do that to me?
Yeah, but like I said though, yeah, like you see them all deciding to step up and rise up because of the good that Superman does. I'm sure that could have been portrayed a lot more with a lot more examples, so that message gets hammered home. But this is a guy who can save a squirrel. Then someone stood up and said, "That's my Superman right there. That he's able to save the lowest life form and spare his enemies." Like when he goes all out on the Raptor force, he doesn't go enough to like implode skulls, disintegrate them, or nothing. No, he's still holding back enough force to like you know,
He's literally
singe
whipping them
them.
off with the centrifugal force to just kind of eat them away.
So
Like it, like if he could literally just like mix and blend them, like hitting frappe.
yeah,
But he does.
yeah, like I said though, and like I said, that's the consequence because you got people still signing up for him. And I got another moment that just warms my heart again is right after before the message is displayed after the kaiju is up, everybody's coming to Superman. Those kids are just it's just so sweet to see them looking up to him like, wow, this guy is really a hero. They look so confused and hurt when it's said that he's going to destroy us, and the parents right away go like, yeah, don't get near him. But despite all that, he still opts to still do stuff for them, even though they harangued him, they accused him of being a spy and all that stuff. He's still trying to do the right thing by them.
Exactly.
All right, so but then there's that stupid cocky grin of his that everyone seems to hate. So here's a question I heard people say they don't like this movie because they feel it's kind of jokey with too jokey with Superman. Maybe like we mentioned the Starler with the cape thing, but what's your take on those type of critiques?
I mean, like if they thought uh this series comedy like overshadowed anything, oh boy, don't tell them about Superman 3 or the original theatrical version of Superman 2. They would probably have their heads blown away and say, "What? How did we allow this? How poor Christopher Reeve had to endure all this bullshit?
Yeah.
Richard Lester should be hung by his toes."
Well, and then in Hell, even though Superman Returns is pretty dour on the Superman side, Kevin Spacey really ups the ham as Lex Luthor in that one. Kryptonite. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said though, are we really that scared of being a little funny that you know
I
everyone?
don't know. I think after the point where we had everyone like fade away to dust. I think like people were like, okay, like we've risen to this point. Like things and get serious in superhero movies. Now can we like keep that high race? And I have to argue like if you make everything be super serious and super hard, your victories are just gonna feel just as sour and dour. It's almost so Don Bluth, to bring up the animator, he always does have like really scary imagery, but it's mostly because he understands that it helps make the happy endings hit harder because of how much uh people win. But even then, he still puts in some whimsy and some uh bemusement and awe and wonder between all the scary shit.
So same thing too. Like not everything needs to be comedic because if you look at Thunder Brave New World, there's some bits of levity, but it doesn't really overshadow the seriousness of trying to be a political thriller in that one.
Exactly.
I mean, the one few bits of
Or but
levity.
hell, even Thunderbolts were like literally the the crew is literally made up of the most outside misfits, morons, and like the most like backwards toxic masculinity figures and like dour assassins and all that. There's they still joke, but then they also had to deal with like little existential crisis, like to the upteenth degree.
Yeah, besides, most of the humor does come from Ed Guardian because see, that guy is just too good for this world. But yeah, but Superman, yeah, like yeah, there's some funny shit that happens from Luthor's funny shit that happens from like Luthor has smart ass humor, like when he's telling him, "Where's the dog?" I have no idea what you're talking about. Ugly dog with a cape. And
Where's the dog?
yeah, I love how he's trying to play like I have no. You know what kind of reminds me of that emotional Superman, audition with that one guy who's really into it. Don't make me do the world a favor, Luthor. Where are the controls? Control? Who's got control? I mean,
Did they think that was gonna be like one of the producer's wife's dentist that was playing Superman in that?
yeah, and oh my gosh, uh, that also reminds me of people like to talk about how over emotional he got with "Where's the Dog," but uh, it's understandable. I mean, it's in the same vein as Clark seeing pictures of a tortured Martha Kent and yelling at Luther with laser vision, "Where is she?"
I don't know. I don't know what to tell me.
Yeah, but like I said though, I don't know, but it's I know I like how some people like to say
I
like
I argue that's not the most emotional he gets. The most emotional is like he's literally like at death's door, like soaking out kryptonite, and it's just helpless to not stop Luther Russian rouletting Molly to death. And oh man, his heart really broke out.
yeah,
And,
uh,
and even harder when Lex said like, "Huh, well, that ended quickly than I thought."
it's,
Oh well, I have plenty more figures to use to get more questions out of you later.
yeah, like see like that on one hand that's funny but also darkly like dark, but I mean like him looking at the gun and being like, huh, I didn't expect it to be over that quickly. And
The bravery leader just chalking it up as like he wiped. Well, I tried to look a second time, but to be fair, my second view was the three glasses. That was the only showing I
no,
got without having to
there
wait.
wasn't any actual blood on
But
the Bavarian guy, but yeah, it's implying that he's getting off some brain off of him or whatever.
but needless to say, like the fact that Superman understands that this is just going to be the first of many people that were going to be having to play Lex's Russian roulette challenge.
Yeah, so like I said though, but now the jokes though, like I think there's not really a lot of jokes made. I mean, the part that is kind of funny is like the dog won't go away when he's telling him to get. The whole making fun of the secret harem thing with Big Blue. Do you really have a secret harem? No, I don't. Like the odds they have in it. I think if anyone gets the joked at the most, it's actually Guy. That haircut of yours should be against your code.
What did you say?
Just
Let
look.
me know that 388 females say otherwise.
And then yeah, like I said, the only real joke against Superman is probably when the boss were mocking him when he's telling him like they say that you're probably having nefarious intentions. Hashtag super pie. Hashtag super shit.
No, you promised it. You wouldn't bring that up. You know that gets under my skin.
Yeah, and he returned. Superman doesn't have time for selfies. Did you just read something in the third person? No, 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 no. I was just trying, that social media. Yeah, but some people can look across the table and see. Now you can't use that. Oh,
But
hmm.
yeah, I don't feel like there's. So I guess like if how far are we gonna go to the point where like we can't have any sense of levity, any sense of like a person's
I know.
like smiling in victory or anything like that, and say no, this is too jokey. This is a superhero movie, not a goddamn comedy. It's like they're just smiling at the fact that their families and loved ones are safe. How much more downward do you need this, you fucking waste of skin?
Yeah, hell, like look at. I mean, the only part that's kind of at his expense is, but it's not that funny. Is the quit messing around. He's been the put to the ringer saying, "Hey man, I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff here." Like that's more to himself than anything. But like
He's literally recovered from popping his shoulder back into his socket.
And then you got like Crypto beating the crap out of him for a laugh, but that's because he's an unruly dog, and later he's able to get out of that. But like I says though, I think some people says I cannot take this movie seriously because it makes a joke out of Superman. I'm like, well, I don't know.
Let's be fair. There's a hell of a lot worse instances out there.
That one
A
sketch,
lot worse.
that one sketch about him. Oh hell, that Superman musical that only aired for like 3 nights, and they realized you can't show this to anybody else. The Super Pup
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, fucking hell.
But uh, then I also someone said that they have no interest in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow because of how Kara was portrayed, but the context is needed. She gets crap faced.
Like after we recorded that for our first episode the other night, I literally decided like, you know what? I need to. Oh, it's over there. It's out of reach. I can't get it. But I decided to actually sit down and finally read Superman Woman of Tomorrow. Thanks generously is gifted to me by Casey. It actually. Oh my god. This. The movie is literally just going to be that entire story arc, like we are going to have quite a roller coaster. The fact that Lobo is going to be involved in that, he's not even in that story I read, but hearing that they're going to figure a way to put Lobo into the mix, that's going to be insane.
And I gotta say this too. I didn't make a point for this, but I want to make a point. Is that just like James Gunn opened the cosmic universe to the Marvel stuff with Guardians and stuff, I think with Woman of Tomorrow, he's gonna open up the cosmic universe to the DC stuff.
Oh yeah, because there's like so many planets, there's so many uh crazy ass shit that happens. Like the fucking super horse is in that story, for God's sakes. Comet.
Hopefully, better than that last time Comet was involved with Supergirl in a very weird way, where he like turned into a guy for her and stuff like that. I don't know. As Linkara famously
Well,
always says, comics are
that
weird.
that actually that actually does happen in the story. That's a big monumental thing. You need to read it.
Yeah.
It makes sense when
I heard it honors a
when
lot
you
of Supergirl's history, probably much more than that Helen Slater movie did.
You want to know how bad that movie is? I literally watched Superman for the Quest for Peace after it. It's a sobering ass experience compared to that. That movie literally like helped like give me anti food poisoning medicine to that movie. Like, good fucking god.
Yeah, but yeah. So people said that
Word
car.
of advice: keep French people away from directing any female-led superhero movies. It does not do anyone any good.
Let me see what who the guys directing Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow hails from, real quick. But
I know technically he's done better movies, but they're definitely not better superhero movies.
Craig Gillespie comes from Sydney. Okay, he's a New Zealand director. New Zealand guys gave us Lord of the Rings. I think we're in safe hands. Yeah, I Tanya, Fright Night remake, and Cruella. Yeah, this guy's got an interesting career. So James Gunn probably knows his stuff. Game recognizes game, and James Gunn's producing it. But uh, written by Anna Nogueira, who's best known for writing a few small things on TV and stuff. But Vampire Diaries, Blacklist,
Any shows you know?
um, Blue Bloods, Vampire Diaries, Blacklist, Hightown.
Okay, yeah, we're pretty much good.
Okay, but yeah, so I think he's gonna open up the cosmic universe to DC, and the like I said, yeah, there's context for her being coming home drunk, and even Gary jokes. If I had a bit of emotional concern, I would say I'd be concerned about your cousin's partying.
She's doing it a lot. She has to party at Red Sun plans because
We
in
can't get
Yellow Suns we can't get drunk.
yeah, and I think it's more to bury some. We could that party girl facade might be hiding some real pain because as we all know, some versions of Kara have a lot of like turmoil
This
inside them.
I'm just gonna put it out there. This version of Kara actually saw Krypton die. It technically she saw her home die 3 different ways.
Wow. So yeah.
So basically, Krypton exploded. The uh, a huge chunk of their land, Argo City, was also radiated, just like any chunks of Krypton becomes kryptonite. So they had a lead line in it, but they lost a lot of people. But then asteroids started to belt the ledge, so like there's no way to fix all that in time without losing more people. So that's when like Kara had to be jettisoned out by her
Hmm.
father.
Yeah. So not having the best of times. So like I said though, I don't think they're making a mockery of Supergirl, even though she does call Superman her cousin a bitch on the way up. She's probably kind of drunk, but yeah, I think it was played. It is kind of played for a laugh.
I feel, I feel like it's mostly just like how cousins just kind of tease each other a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And some people are wondering, well, Supergirl was
Like
active.
she is wearing the costume, so like she still follows the same like actions that uh her cousin
But I
does.
think Gunn did say,
Like if she didn't really like treat or have any respect for Superman, she would not be wearing that costume. I'll tell you that much.
and then uh, James Gunn already said she's not her cousin. Superman had the decency of being raised by regular parents and having a normal childhood, whereas Kara went through quite a ringer. So that's why her showing up that way is to show you the stark contrast between the two cousins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it was insulting her in any way. In fact, like, it just got me more excited to be ready. Like he says, you read the comic, you know like, how crazy this could get. So, mm-hmm.
It goes crazy, but it also shows that Kara is actually decent, moral, kind. Like she has this she displays the different set but altogether the same uh moral compass quality that Superman has is that well it's her birthday. She's like allowed a chance to just like do what she needs to just kind of vent a little bit.
But yeah, like I said, the
When put things push comes to shove, she'll like step in to help someone still.
some people are asking if she was active, why didn't she think to help him during the whole Rift situation? I don't even think she was in the quadrant when that stuff happened.
No, like even in the comic, like she's like she they have to go so far out of their uh our out of our pocket of the universe to get to a red sun. Like that's like light years away.
So that's probably why it took a while for Kara to come back and check on her dog.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh
so
my god. Can you imagine like how like pissed off she would be if she came back here and
and
like crypto wasn't found?
oh
She would be
no,
like,
she would have
okay, yeah, but you put Lex in you put Lex in too many timeouts. Excuse me, I'm just gonna go and give his balls a swift kick up into his like body until he gives me my dog back.
like it says, uh, basically Uther would be like that thing from Captain America. We all know that torture is really. This isn't really. You got not good at this thing. Yeah, I know, but she is. And Black Widow just kicks him off and brings him back up. That's probably what Kara would do. She'd grab Luther, put him by saying, "Okay, listen, it takes me 2.5 seconds to get from here to the stratosphere. You have that much time to give me back crypto before the air gets a little thinner."
Yeah.
Oh, but then that would give Luther all the ammunition he needs to say, "Gee, the Kryptonians are coming here to threaten us."
When do you think the teaser for that film is gonna be? Obviously, this can't be now. That Superman's don't want to distract people from Superman limelight. You think maybe it'll come? Oh, you know when it would be perfect is when Superman comes around in home media and it'll
Speaking of which,
be attached in the
they showed
sneak Supergirl.
they showed the 4K steelbook, and it's the door opening up, and inside is a shot of him standing at his door and everything like that when he after the Luther bots were destroyed. But yeah, super bots are destroyed. But yeah, but I thought, oh my god, that 4K steelbook. I don't buy a lot of steelbooks, but that one is pretty tempting.
But yeah, yeah. Have us levity in a Superman story. That's like that's part of the charm, man. You gotta have that.
Now,
Even the best animated Superman movies, like Superman vs. the Elite or Superman Man of Tomorrow, they have like plenty of jokes to crack at in there, but they also have some very serious moments. Like in Man of Tomorrow, there's a man who's like uh, a father figure to little Tyler and a baby that's about to come along the way, but he's like this disfigured parasite entity that has to it only gets able to get close interactions by like hiding invisible with the Martian Manhunter's invisibility trick.
damn.
But then still opts to have like a comedy of like Lois how she plans out her interview with Superman by plan- planning a meeting, but then opting to have say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's gonna be busy. Let's schedule this another time," and then pull power moves on. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Oh god, there was something else I was thinking of too on that note about the. Okay, so there was another point I wanted to bring up in terms of the This is a pretty PG 13 film. I think the only thing that gets it more in the 13 area, some of the more um some
It's mostly Nathan feeling and going unhinged a little bit,
yeah, most of the bad language.
and also like graphically showing the middle fingers. Look, yo, dog, I heard you like flipping off. So I just making constructs to flip you off while I flip your tank over.
But yeah, and Borovian harem thing was probably a little too much for saucy for regular builds.
Yeah.
But anyway, so far performance is actually doing pretty well. And there's again the thing I keep hearing a lot is that people are saying, this makes me happy to be a Superman fan, or now I know why you like Superman, which is that was the point. And I hear some say that this does have a pacing on par with that of Rise of Skywalker's first half, and I don't know because they say it's too
I
much.
I've seen Rise of Skywalker enough. I can tell you that I have a problem with Rise of Skywalker's first act, where it feels like it's just going at like 10,000 miles per second. Like it's like nonstop. It's like here, 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 here. It's only when they get to Kijimi where things just like pull the lever back and go, okay, 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 we're all caught up.
Okay.
Oh my god, you know what it's like? It's like if like you play a movie, but then you accidentally butt dial the remote to do a simple fast forward, and everything's just kind of rapid playing.
I don't know. So some said they felt that with Superman, and I'm like, I don't know.
It honestly feels more understandable that we're in the midst of like in the middle of the action, whereas I mean to be fair, that's the same thing with Rise of Skywalker, so I can see why people say they have a problem. But at least with Star Wars, they need to have like a storytelling arc. That there's serial that they've already have like a whole bunch of episodes that are built up. Here that we're just like getting introduced in the middle of all of this, so we're just kind of like picking up the pieces, like who's who, this cavalcade of characters and all that. But even then, it does still feel like it's something you can like get into. Like if you were just to jump into a random Superman or Lois show, or the I hate to bring up Dean Cain, but to be fair, I'm only watching that show now to catch up, mostly for Terry Hatcher
No,
now.
like I
So
I
like,
appreciate what D&K did and what he tried to do and what they tried to give. I mean, and personal politics aside,
not,
I
but nowadays he's trying to clout chase.
yeah, like I'm saying, yeah. I'm sure he'll get some sense at some point. I mean, come on, you were the Ripley's Believe It or Not guy, and I can't believe it or not that you are saying some of the stuff you're saying. Now, but hey, this is the land of the free, and you're welcome to have an opinion. Just don't whine about it if people give you some pushback on that. Anyway, but I did want to say this though. Um, I saw someone saying how they've been making the wrong comparison, saying that, oh, how does this compare against like the MCU's first foray into its universe? I say, well, I gotta say this. This is not really an Iron Man one for the DC universe. If anything, I thought they say that the comparison, and I agree this is apt, is that it's very much more like watching Avengers, where everything comes together in a way where you go, I'm seeing the comic book on stage. So I think the best MCU comparison to Superman is actually is what if we started with Avengers, which even if you started with Avengers, you can still get enough context to like really get along for the ride and say, oh, where did this Captain America come from? I gotta watch his stuff. Oh, where did this Black Widow first meet Iron Man? I gotta watch that stuff. Like it is kind of a good jumping off point too, but it's more rewarding if you're from the beginning of the ride and you end up in Avengers. Then there's more payoff that way. But I'm just saying, I can see why comparing it to Avengers makes a little bit of sense.
It totally makes a whole lot of sense,
Mm-hmm.
and so actually, there could actually be a position that James might have kind of coyly um, hinted that he might be looking to probably fit um, the Robert Pattinson Batman into the timeline of this thing, and now people are like, well, no, because the tones are completely different. But I argue it's like, yes, the tones are different because the DC is that diverse. I mean, good God, we're gonna have a R-rated Clayface horror movie coming up. You're telling me like that's not gonna fit in the same universe?
I know, but we also are hearing that he does want to make his own Batman cast with that Brave and the Bold movie that is supposed to happening with Andy Machete, but I'm not sure what's. We haven't heard much update from that, so maybe the parachute is to fold in Pattinson into this universe, which that would be interesting to
There,
see.
there there's plenty of clues. I actually saw it's a blink and you miss it moment in the background during Superman's fight with the kaiju. There's like a jumbotron screen of the Spirit Network, yeah, the Fox News standing of has a headline article that says flooding's caused damage, and like, what's the recent thing that we saw in DC lately where flooding was the big issue? It's Gotham City.
And I think
Gotham City is really going through a bit of their own no man's land initiative,
and I think
where
they did cut out that scene in the middle when Pattinson was going through the crowd doing his narration about Halloween, and I think set photos did show they did have as a cute little wink. They had some costume goers go as Superman and Wonder Woman. Like you didn't see them, but you saw like one guy had a red cape with a yellow S, and then there was like there was a little small hint, but I think they ended up cutting out that focus point. But there are set photos of them doing a little like uh, some Halloween party goers were dressed up as heroes. So maybe
and
Superman.
also you have to remember that James Gunn is kind of handling. So he's kind of mostly focusing on canon, not continuity, with certain elements. Like there's the Peacemaker. There's like he's open to have the actor of Jaime Reyes from the Blue Beetle movie be coming into the DCU. Like I feel like a lot of days people kind of think continuity canon are are go hand to hand, but it's actually not. It's actually like what's canon is like, oh, what's the rules and what's a factor that's similar to like all these stories, whereas continuity is like it's like threading one point to the next.
Great continuity. I know. I still love that continuity song that It's a Random guy sang as Iron Man.
I hope that guy's doing all right. I don't know what's going on,
I
but
wonder
he's
what he would think
probably.
of Superman.
I actually would be overjoyed if Superman was enough of a wake up call for him to say like, you know what, I have to go back. This is a wake up call to come back to. I think the world is if the world is ready for Superman, they're definitely ready for me to come back.
Oh god, I still love that they used him as the voice of Superman in the Goku versus Superman fight. You think this is a
The first
game?
two.
I haven't even begun to play yet. Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, it does appear at a Wiki and Miss It moment in the last Goku vs Superman, the third one, where you hear what his voice be one of the alternate Supermans during those the universal smashing punches that Superman does. The same with the uh, shoot, I forgot his name. The bridge Goku actor in one of the punches.
Masako X
Moscow X, yeah, that's him.
marketing. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, oh my god, he's kind of a waned off. What's the like? Boy, the world really must be like going to shit if like creators we usually watch and love for having to like roll back and have to recover from like things before they can entertain the masses. Like shit.
I wanted to bring up one reaction in particular in that a game recognizes game in which David Hayter of Solid Snake fame is also a writer. He wrote the first two X Men and wrote the first draft of Watchmen before it was changed repeatedly. But he still gets a credit in the Zack Snyder Watchmen. He said, "All right, that was some pretty good superhero comic book awesomeness." He said, "Great job," and he definitely said a great job to Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner because I guess that was his favorite character in the movie. But you got peers recognizing that this is actually pretty good. You don't got other guys saying, "Oh, what juvenile shit is this?" They're like, "Wow, you did a great job. Like it's great." And people say, "Well, yeah, well they all work with each other." Well, they don't know each other personally. It's just that I say that it's like whenever
I,
how do
I
you,
hear I hear your Grace had a good positive vibe with the Superman. She has problems, but she also felt like, oh, well, I get it now.
Yeah, because she has personal issues with Gunn, is personal sensibilities and humor and how he does like stuff with like women and stuff like that. Like she, that's always been even in the Guardians movie, she can't help but bring it up. So the fact that she says, "I think this is James Gunn's best movie from him to date," like that says big, big things. And another thing too is that, like I said, the oh, I wonder what the Hideo Kojima response will be because he usually has the funniest reactions. If he does his long wax poetic thing about a movie he saw, he really liked it. But if he just writes, "Well, I just saw this," and leaves it at that, you go, "Oh man, he must not have liked it then." He's really busy nowadays, but it's so funny. It's always. Hmm.
I wonder what would happen if he just like he does a simple quoting of the movie. Like, what if he said kindness? Maybe that's the new punk rock.
Because I remember he
Does
wrote
that
it.
mean
He must have really
does
liked
that
it
mean he
then.
likes it?
Maybe
Or, oh,
he, maybe he'll put David Cornswell in one of his upcoming games. Because he does that with people he likes. He ends up putting them in his games. Matt Mickelson, Norman Reedus. Yeah. But
but I think another recent thing that's going on is that apparently people really loved crypto in this movie to the point where adoption rates for dogs skyrocketed like 500%.
oh damn.
And I would normally be like all ecstatic about that, but I'm just suddenly back going like, well, hold on, wait a second. I distinctly remember I heard a story about like when the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians '96 came out, people in droves wanted to adopt Dalmatian puppies, and if not a lot of people know this, but Dalmatians are like the most ornery dog breeds you can have to uh, raise and nurture. Like there's it's not as simple as oh feed them this, give them walks that. No, they're these are like the most vicious dogs. You have to be really uh, gung ho to like get put into the effort to help raise them
I'm
up to the
pretty
point
sure.
where a lot of the dogs end up getting U-turned to be dropped off at shelters
Oh,
again.
well.
So.
But yeah, I say that I know that the Corella backstory definitely added that viciousness as part of it, from what I hear.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said though, on one hand though, like yeah, isn't James Gunn's model for crypto, the dog he based crypto's design off of, a rescue?
It's rescued as he quotes the worst dog of the planet imaginable. To the point where when he initially got him, like the dog did not like him, like at all. Like it's just like really bitey, really jumpy, just hopping around,
So
just
that
being
make
a little menace.
it makes sense why crypto is the way he is.
But then it eventually did came around to be it. So I wouldn't be surprised at that scene where Clark is fully recuperated in his Smallville bedroom, and you saw Crypto like laying like all snug on his chest, and I would be surprised that James Gunn just said in his commentary like, yeah, Ozu actually did that to me at one point, where at that point that's where our relationship actually really started.
My my cat Nala does that to me a lot. Yeah, and then now here's another thing I want to say though. Someone said this too. Right now they're looking at a healthy 600 to 700 mil, which people say that just seems a little low, don't you think? But someone said this as a genius thing. What if he's queuing it up like Batman Begins, where Batman Begins was needed to take the stink off of a previous failed endeavor. It was kind of a soft launch. People were getting accustomed to this new Batman, and then you hit him hard with the follow up. Like the real money should be coming to whatever whenever James does the next follow up to this particular Superman. Then maybe we can get the Dark Knight of Superman movies.
Oh man. That's the case, then my suggestion of how what the sequel should be focused on would definitely fit the bill of that. I feel, and this is me like open the prayers to prayers. Like this is like my ultimate wish list, uh, but it's probably not gonna happen because like not a lot of people are in the know about it. They probably want to see villains from like the anime series, cherry picked from. And but I personally feel like for a sequel to Superman, we should definitely have a Superman versus the Elite.
Yes, I know. But
Which again,
what was it?
it
What?
might not happen 'cause we you typically have the thing that they're supposed to be a pastiche to the Authority being a movie coming up.
Yeah, because I said that the authority is the elite's counterpoint, and wasn't a Superman versus Authority thing in the works?
As a comic or as like a story
You know,
or
as a potential project in the film universe.
not that I'm aware of,
But
but
that could be the next logical step. Although, I know.
like I bring it up because I feel like the elite, the Manchester Black Menagerie, Cold Cast, and the Hat are definitely in the wheelhouse for being uh yes, okay, I got it. I feel like they would definitely be in the wheelhouse for James Gunn to do what he does best, is being, James Gunn, because James Gunn would take like the most weirdest, uh, out of out of the ordinary characters, like that most people don't know or aren't aware of, and would definitely give them uh more widespread attention, and like the different displays of their powers, Menagerie especially. I wonder how what James would handle with Menagerie, like what different creatures she would issue in that version, or what creatures the Hat would pull out of his hat and see all the different wild, imaginative creatures. But yeah, it is a little bit of like a fangirl thing to wish for, to see them do, like especially if they were to pull that whole thing where Superman fakes out going rogue on them, and then comes around and say like, "Yeah, psych."
Although
Like that would finally give like all the naysayers of this movie like a moment to shut up. Say, "Oh, okay, so you want Superman to be serious? Okay, asshole, we'll play your fucking game. Here he is.
I,
Isn't he charming? Isn't he just so forward and relatable? Yeah, you wanted him like this, like Henry Cavill, right? Yeah, we're gonna give you exactly what you wanted, you motherfucker. Are
I,
you happy now?
I want to see him bloodied. What we kind of do? I want to see him like super as psychotic as the art made him look. With the how does it feel?
There's about like 70 billion what if Superman turned evil stories. So let's act them out, shall we?
Anyway, I would either in the Olsen spinoff or in something. I would love to see James Gunn try to bring Livewire into it because that's just my Supergirl, super guy, Superman bad guy besides Lex. Oh, although Metallo from James Gunn would probably go hard.
Like you want to go the whole body horror route of like a man just like really like trying to utilize the piece of kryptonite, but ultimately becomes like this cyborg entity.
That would go crazy, but that would only make sense if Lex was back in favor in a position of power to do that with Metallo. Other than
Yeah,
Brain,
it's like I need to do something to like really get your favorite because he's got no control at all. Like I'm pretty sure his Luthor is being liquidated as we speak.
maybe Otis is running it now, and but like I said though, Parasite would look cool with this
Yeah,
Superman.
I, I feel like it's a safe bet you want to go for is Parasite to really delve into. Like I think like Kryptonite weakening Superman would be a factor. Parasite is like a figure that during the fight Superman has to really put his brains over brawn strength into double action now, because every time he fights he get more and more weaker. Actually, now that I think about it, why couldn't we have that be the reason why the Superman is seen as weaker? It would have made sense to allow comic fans and being introduced to the mainstream, but
Mm, now,
I don't know.
do you think we'll see Nicholas Holt in the mecha suit in the future?
Repurposing his raptor suits to be his ultimate, the flawless design. Boink! Ah,
Now that I think about it,
Andy, I told you to bring the ball in.
now that
Just stop talking for 2 seconds.
The Hammer of Barabia outfit looks kind of like his mech suit once Ultraman takes off the big dome Juggernaut helmet.
Oh yeah, the not Sontarian armor that the Hammer wears.
Yeah. Oh, watch. Actually, imagine that. I would love it if that ends up being the case. Where I remember people were speculating Lex Luthor might get repurposed armor from General Zod's left behind stuff because the building that broke was Luthor Corp, Lex Corp.
And technically they were right. They were mostly repurposing the biological sense of Zod's being.
And I know you said right now you don't want a Zod right away.
But I don't want Zod. Definitely no Doomsday. Don't blow your load so damn early. That should be like reserved for like a future. I don't know, maybe chapter 3 or something for like the DCU build up and all that.
Well, because I want that funeral to actually be big, and for it to be earned. Because we're talking about how we can't trust him. We don't know what he's doing. We don't know what he's here for.
I want that funeral to literally take the funeral of Tony Stark in Avengers Endgame and bury it so hard into like a forgotten memory.
Because my dad always remembered the famous comic cover of all the superheroes resting Superman while that gold statue is there of Hero Like Superman, and you see Batman, Wonder Woman, Hawk, all those people.
Oh yeah, and they literally recreate that for the re-release where they put both the Death of Superman and the Reign of Superman uh, DC animated movies together. I literally have the movie combo where it has uh, their reinterpretation of that cover you're talking about.
Hmm. But yeah, so don't do Doomsday for sure.
No Doomsday, no Zod, fucking no Darkseid. Keep him far away as possible. Let's
Save
save
him
him
for
for something huge.
or he's just gonna show up on. I can totally see James Gunn making Darkseid show up on Lois Lane's couch, just sitting there like.
Hello, have a seat. American Idol is on.
That's still one of my favorite images of all time. Out of context, just showing.
It's so funny because Linkara says like that is so out of character, Darkseid, and then the comics eventually say like, oh no, Darkseid is literally like accustomed to always finding a throne of every size and stature comfortable. Like hell, even the Death Battle showcases like, oh yeah, I really want the Thanos' chair.
But yeah, like I said, I just love that. So I guess Darkseid's favorite place in the universe might be a lazy boy factory. That sounds like a robot chicken sketch waiting to happen. But so I mean, we're gonna be getting lanterns. That show's in development. Wait, dude,
Uh-huh.
I think we already got someone cast for that too. Let me just check again.
I mean, we technically already have Creature Commandos. That's already a thing. I need to get to watching that.
All
No,
right, we're gonna be getting Mark Russell, Bruce Baxter, Kyle Chandler of King of the Monsters and King Kong fame being Hal Jordan.
wow.
And
So, you have the Authority. We have um, the Clayface horror movie. We have technically not officially in the DCU yet, but the Batman 2 script is finally greenlit. Thank God.
who's playing Sinestro? Sorry, I just saw a name and I had to like look real quick. Sorry, but we're gonna get Aaron Pira as Jon Stewart, and we're gonna get Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. I'm excited. But I saw that we're gonna get a Sinestro, but I'm trying to see if there's a guy we've seen him in.
I don't.
Hmm.
I just
Hmm.
no. They can't be doing a Booster Gold movie planned, are they?
You know, people keep joking he's gonna find a way to get Chris Pratt in the DCU. I say go ahead and put him as Booster Gold.
Yeah. No argument. That's of all characters that literally fits.
Yeah, but Kyle Chandler as Hal. I loved him in King Kong as the self-absorbed Bruce Baxter who ends up being a good guy but still runs away at the end, and he was an interesting character in King of the Monsters. I kind of was sad he was sidelined in Godzilla vs Kong.
Mm.
Anyway, so we got the Lantern show. We got Peacemaker season 2. Like I said, we got. I think we won't really know if the universe is taking off until Supergirl comes out and see how that's resolved. But the only bar it has to pass is it has to be better than that '84 Supergirl movie, and has to be on par.
Wow, that's not really a hard. That's not really a hard bar to get
Yeah,
over.
the bar's in hell, I know. But come on, I mean the
But
only.
it has, it has to be its own thing against the Supergirl show.
Oh yeah,
Obviously, but
the Melissa Benoist show is actually quite classic. I mean, I know people like to say CW show and da, but there's some moments in there that are pretty iconic.
I literally heard that the Superman and Lois show is is going down as one of the best iterations of Superman
Oh yeah,
in all the
I
mythos.
think Ant.
And hear that, I'm like, okay, but do I need to do homework like watching these other shows for that to make sense, or can I just like kind of jump ahead on that?
I think it was Ant who might have said something about that. The Anthony Gargamel, bat guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but anyway, so like I said though, this universe it's off to a good start. The numbers are showing it's healthy ways. What I'm saying is that yeah, I can't believe I'm compelled to see this movie again. I saw some people write on social media, "I'm so sorry. This movie's going to be my personality for the next few weeks. Sorry to annoy you ahead of time." As someone said, I'm seeing the
I'm not.
I'm seeing the fan art of it. Like oh god, like I just sent you the other day. There's a lot of pictures of Kara. There's a lot of pictures of Kendra. Like I said, I want to do that picture.
Thousands of parts of crypto, I'm sure.
I want to do that picture though of Ultraman. Actually, I imagine that when Ultraman's not doing shit for Luthor, that Eve kind of just like does cute things with him, like ask for piggyback rides on the back because she seems so cute, congratulating Ultraman when he comes back from his Hammer of Baravia gig.
Hmm.
I know, but I think the memes have been hilarious. Like that, there's that Bugs Bunny yelling at Elmer Fudd, blushing, being repurposed. Where's the dog, Luthor? And
Oh wait, hold on. I forgot. I never got around to showing you this one, but I saw uh, in Mira's chat room where someone shared this meme. I think they were in this movie spoilers. So
the other one I like is that meme of someone that's all happy about something and the other person saying, "I hate you and I hope you die." They said basically Superman, Lex Luthor, and Superman in this thing. Superman, I'm like saving little animals, and you got this
oh no, oh wait, no, yeah, yeah, that was actually the one I was about to try to find to show you.
and
But
Superman and Lex Luthor's like, "I fucking hate you and I hope you die."
it's like, yeah, I like see it was.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. But that is Luthor, and oh my god, like I said, Ara farming. People say that he's Ara farm so much, and they call the Luthor Corp song Ara farming the same, and I thought that was pretty funny. But oh god, this I find it funny. Jurassic World, I was always guaranteed to like because dinosaurs. I'm good. Fantastic Four, I'm optimistic for, but this movie, if I think I have to watch First Steps before I decide, but I think I want to say that this is my favorite movie of the July slate, and this is with Jurassic World Rebirth being considered. It would like I said, I gotta see First Steps before I can say for sure, because if First Steps ends up getting hitting me in the right spot more so than this, which I'll be surprised if it does, but if it does, then hey, I win. I got a good dinosaur movie, a good Superman movie, and finally a good Fantastic Four movie that isn't Incredibles.
But yeah, I'm so happy this movie is working out, working hard. I will be like toasted a big glass and uh showing that daft JK how you do a celebratory photo op if it hits the billion billion spot.
Oh yeah. Um. None of the wait. I think Stitch is the only one. No, I'm not sure which movies hit 1 billion this year yet. Minecraft it got close, but it didn't quite get there. But I gotta say, Warner Brothers is having a good year. Minecraft, one of the biggest openings of the early month year. Sinners, loads of rave reviews and applaud, and people think there might be Oscar noms in its future. And Superman is now they needed this to be hit. Like He Who Should Not Be Named of Warner Brothers said this is part of their 10-year plan, and this is the first step they thought was they're very very pleased with. And people say, but I don't think any money hungry CEO would be happy with just a 500 million or 600 million. That's probably a slow Tuesday afternoon where they come from, to quote Mr. Eversole. But there, if your boss is happy with your job, you're guaranteed to keep your job. So everyone with the sack gun, hopes, hold your breath. Don't hold your breath.
And add to that list the fact that there's the Looney Tunes movie that got bought out uh, was very low to the point where the other nearly sacked Looney Tunes movie is actually coming out next year, and also the fact that the merger is going to be breaking off pretty soon, and Zaslav lost his bonus. So
But hey, he's like I said, he's happy with Superman. So I know you're loath to say this, but I told you we wouldn't be having a Superman if it wasn't for him putting the money on the farm on Gunn, because he got the call from Rock about how to continue from Black Adam's debacle, and he decided in the end, we're gonna go somewhere else. So, because The Rock had a personal call with him. Yeah.
wow, there's a saying: a broken clock could be right twice a day.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, like I said though, things are looking really good, really up. Warner Brothers is having a very good year in terms of profitability. Their F1 movie also did pretty well, the one with Brad Pitt. I actually like that movie. So I gotta say, we were making fun of Warner Brothers for being always on the ropes, but they always excel in horror. Their Conjuring movies always make buck. Barbie was a nice turnaround for them a few years back, and now we
Oh
got
yeah, I forgot that their It prequel is coming out, and even then that trailer didn't even show Pennywise. You think of all things that you've seen Pennywise in two movies that they would have hinted his appearance, but maybe they're. Oh my god! I just realized something. Maybe that prequel is showcasing where Pennywise gets his clown form.
I know. Welcome to Derry. We definitely gotta check out. Oh, but speaking of checking out shows, oh boy, I'm probably vibrating with excitement about the next few weeks.
Oh yeah, the upcoming Alien series.
Yeah,
Literally on the eve of your birthday, no less.
yeah. So I gotta say though, it would take a lot for an Alien Earth show to just shut me off from the franchise. So I don't see anything that would indicate that. I know there's some Alien fans that are like, okay, this is really fucking with the mythos and stuff, but I'm going.
Well, to be fair, the mythos has already been fucked with even before the merger happened. Like,
Yeah, thanks, Ridley.
do I really even have to bring up Colonial Marines?
Ooh. Michael Bean deserved better.
Hey, I'm here. Why? That's why.
Yeah. God, yeah, I like how no, you weren't even talking about the Prometheus movies. No, you went right for the juggler with that one. Thanks, Gearbox. No, thanks, Randy Pitchford. You were the devil behind all this, man. Ugh. At least his Borderland movies exploded in his face.
Yeah.
Hey, they're still on Borderlands 4, so good props on them. Eh, but like I said, Colonial
Whoopee,
Marines.
I guess.
Yeah, Colonial Marines. That should have. I will. I know. Oh god, you just triggered another episode. I know. I know that I talk about it, but that second trailer that's just a motion tracker showing reactive aliens, and it ends with the queen alien tearing apart a power loader and attacking the screen, got my hopes up so damn
So,
high.
fucking. Oh my god, that was really gonna be like a. No, I think my mom and dad got that game for me as a gift, but we were still down at Disney at the time, and then uh saw that Angry Joe video and saw him like give off those pot shots and that disappointed look. The I think that was the birth of the you fucked it up.
Oh, hey, at least you and I had a good playthrough that you made great pictures out of. Hey, you drew yourself as
Yeah, but
as a female marine, and that were back then too. So there was a hint of the egg cracking right there.
um, I not really. I don't. I think it's just it was just us at the time.
Oh, well.
I think you're
The
mixed up
the fire team
the
stuff.
fire team. I'm playing as the. I chose the female skin for that because I thought, well, let's why not? I
Okay, but I love how you
we
mentioned.
need we need to get back to fire team. Hopefully, if they like patched in that like abusing the fire system doesn't cause the game to crash.
But oh my god, we just laugh. Uh, the Colonial Marines. Wow, just you stun locked me. But yeah, because we got Alien Earth coming out soon, Fantastic Four next week. I'm revved up. Uh, um, and like I said, we still got more stuff to look forward to within the year. Uh, Fire and Ash is got a. We haven't even seen a first look of that yet officially, other than the title
What is that
reveal.
again?
December. Remember, it was supposed to fight Sonic last year, but due to James Cameron's perfectionist attitude, it was moved to this
Oh,
December.
right, I forgot. Oh wait, that's supposed to be this year?
Yes,
How come we haven't seen any trailers of it yet?
because we're still halfway through the year.
We should still be having a teaser of something though.
Well, let me just for comparison's sake. I remember it was a big deal for me when they finally
Are they saving it for? Okay, I forgot. They're probably saving it for San Diego.
or or Disney's D23 in August maybe.
I I don't think they have a D23 this year.
Oh, don't they do that like every 2 years or something like that?
Yeah, the last one was like last year, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And watch, we're gonna get a trailer attached to Tron Ares, exclusively to Tron Ares, like that Odysseus thing being put to Jurassic.
The
Although,
Odyssey.
although before Superman, they did show the Odyssey trailer in full again.
I'll admit, I was kind of a little bit worried when I went to my premiere because they said it in the theater where they initially Jurassic World Rebirth was probably uh, showcasing that for the XD Cinemark imaging, and they're mostly having a lot of Universal previews to the point where they show the Odyssey. They're like, oh shit, did they fuck up? Are we actually watching Jurassic World Rebirth? But no, the previews kept going, and we saw um, a Warner Brothers trailer too, and it's like, okay, phew, thank God.
Oh, sorry.
That would been wild
No,
to
no, no,
just
no.
like have been like went and dressed up all uh super for the
Well,
premiere, only just be rewatching Rebirth again.
I keep thinking. At Way of Water's teaser came out May of 2022 and released in Christmas that year. Um,
Hmm.
we're way past May, but it is attached to a Disney project, so the next Disney project coming out is First Steps. What if we're getting an Avatar trailer with the new Fantastic Four?
I can see that, but it's
They would be hyping
again
it up.
that it's still wait, but when is San Diego Comic Con happening again?
Mm,
Oh my God, I'm trembling a little bit. I really hope this is not what I think this
the
is.
same week as Fantastic Four.
Fucking hell! Oh God! It's happening again!
What happened the last time?
Fan Stick literally came out the same week as San Diego Comic Con.
Oops.
Oh God, did they not fucking learn?
Well, Marvel won't be at the panel this year.
That was the same thing that happened for the last time. That
Uh,
was mostly a DC coverage.
DC says they're not going to be at Comic Con either. Everyone else is.
Oh, good. I guess there's one little difference that happened aside from last
Yeah,
time.
you're gonna have Doctor Loomis flashbacks again.
Oh God.
Yeah, but like I said though, it says that what will be expected. We might see interview with the cast from Alien Earth, Predator Badlands, Twisted Metal. Oh yeah, Twisted Metal season 2 is coming out. Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they say that it's surprising Marvel isn't coming, given that last Comic Con their big surprise was we have Doctor Doom, and hey, wait, what's Robert Downey Jr. there?
Interesting task.
Okay, like, by the way, I have all the faith in it, but I saw a video already said Superman's Lex Luthor already is a way more interesting villain than Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom could ever be. I'm like, guys, we haven't even seen an iota.
Yeah. No, I'm probably gonna have to agree with you on that. There's no way that Robert Doom is gonna have the same level of Aura Farm hate over Reed Richards that Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor had for Superman.
That's like 1/3 of Doom's personality in the books too. How much he hates Reed. Oh yeah,
Nixon's hate for Superman literally is half of what he is.
yeah. So
To the point where he literally campaigned to be president just to screw with Superman.
and like I said though, watch Doom is going to make some super broad speech to Reed Richards, and Reed will just be I'm sorry, who are you? And that's good. People are going to be like, good going. Good going. You got the two greatest, rivals. I mean, we saw the definition of petty with Joseph Culp's Doom in Corman's Fantastic Four. Remember? So, oh yeah.
That's fuck you, Alfie Arad. That movie should have at least gotten a chance to just be like a direct-to-video thing.
Maybe even
It's
a
like
Sci-Fi Channel original at least.
it wouldn't have hurted anyone. It would just like pass by this gotten some small recognition, but it wouldn't like have hurt the injury thing. You let the fucking Captain America movie where he spends most of his time feigning injury and stealing cars from people.
Oh goodness. But yeah, so Avatar's my other looking forward to film of the year, besides Predator and a few other things too. But
I honestly forgot what else is coming out this year besides that Avatar movie, which I am excited for, but it's not like I'm biting like tooth and nail at like seeing it. It's just I don't know.
I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe if Curious featured him. Oh yeah, I saw that. The one battle after another. Oh, they're doing another Now You See Me.
oh yeah, I saw the trailer to that.
Weapons. Black Phone 2? Huh. Okay, let me see. So we already got those ones.
Oh yeah, there's Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that's coming out.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Let's see, Luckiest Man in America. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no, okay,
Zootopia 2, Mortal Kombat
ooh,
2.
Yeah. Okay, Mortal Kombat. We got.
Oh my god. Did you see the news that they dropped that like Warner Brothers literally put out a fake IMDb page for Johnny Cage?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Man, Mortal Kombat's supposed to come out in October, and we haven't seen one look. One look. You would have thought they would have attached it to Superman.
Well, the fact that they dropped the fake IMDb page, like I know they said the trailer's coming out this month, so
Well, the month's almost over, so wait, I'm gonna laugh if it comes out near my birthday because the original Mortal Kombat 1995 Anderson film came out in August. So what if they did it in that month just because 30 years from the original? Let's see. Oh, Chris Stuckman's movie is supposed to be coming out in October.
oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot about
The
that.
Shelby Oaks, because I'm seeing it in upcoming. We got Tron. Okay, that's gonna be cool. Roofman look kind of funny. Kiss of the Spider Woman, no relation. Blah, blah, blah. Black Phone 2. Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, that. Okay, that's Avatar, Mortal Kombat 2, and Predator are like my go-to. Oh, they put Running Man. That's coming out. Naked Gun's gonna be pretty funny.
There's a remake of Running Man.
Well, not a remake. It's more of an adaptation of the same. It's yeah. Our trailer had it with Glenn Powell. Right before Superman. Oh, you said they showed a bunch of Universals at yours for some reason.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy, Wake Up Blue Man, Avatar, SpongeBob movie to Search for SquarePants. Oh, those poor bastards are opening opposite of Avatar. All right, that one
Which one's opening opposite?
SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, the one where they swapped out Brian Doyle Murphy's voice for Mark Hamill, even though Brian's still alive.
Oh, so
Okay.
um, yeah, I think Mortal Kombat 2. I gotta see that trailer. Oh yeah, and Wicked. I'm looking forward to Wicked for Good in November
Oh
since the
yeah!
first Wicked was
Oh,
so good.
why did I forget that? That was also a trailer that was shown before my first Superman movie viewing.
Yeah, but Mortal Kombat 2. Let me
Oh
see.
yeah, there's Freakier Friday.
That one does feel like it should have been direct to Disney Plus. No offense to the quality of it, but you know what I mean, right?
There's already a direct to Disney channel Freaky Friday movie. Oh
They
yeah, there's the Toxic Adventure with the freaking Peter Dinklage as the main role. It's
oh
definitely different.
oh yeah, I'm sure all the dwarves are still pissed off at you for the Snow White controversy, dude. Look at this mock poster they made.
I know.
It's like Johnny Cage's version of Mission Impossible. Anyway, so oh sorry, we're getting way off topic now, but we just wanted to share our further thoughts on Superman. We're glad some of you stuck around and even interacted with us. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Chances are the next thing we're going to talk about would be like
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four for sure, and then we'll see where things go from there. Probably I don't know if we'll do a Alien Earth talk about it episode afterwards or wait till it's all done. We've seen a few Star Wars shows. We still haven't done a full like Andor and all that stuff, but we might talk about Alien Earth maybe if I feel compelled to put something together for it. But
It could be like returning your Malian type thing or something like that.
yeah, also I'm gonna restart Resident Evil, my playthroughs of the Resident Evil games, because
Mm.
Requiem is coming out
Yeah,
next year.
I kind of need to do that too, mostly for the later games 7, 8. Definitely mostly because I need to play 8 finally. Mostly just kind of try to just replay 7 to just get in the mood for 8, but I always get distracted.
But yeah, because we got Requiem. Not only do we got Requiem coming out next year, we also it's the 30th official anniversary of Resident Evil. Wait. When are we gonna get that Resident Evil movie from that Barbarian director?
I think we haven't started it yet.
Okay, they say it's coming out.
I didn't know. Resident Evil wise, they're doing that documentary on George A. Romero's uh, Resident Evil that did not transpire.
Well, that's gonna
So
be.
it'll be kind of like the that uh, documentary about that Doom movie of that director that didn't come to pass.
Oh, or that documentary about Death of Superman Lives. What the hell happened? As it's called. Yeah, it's gonna come out in 2026 for the 30th anniversary of the series. So, and he said in a recent article that he's not gonna be too slavish to the games. Like he says that he loved the games, he played the games, but he's not gonna try to be beholden like to, I just want to tell a good, compelling story. That's his motivation.
All right, but if you go as far as like the out of line as a Netflix show, I'm bailing.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, all you have to do was put Claire Bear's hair in a ponytail, and I'd call you perfect. Welcome to Raccoon City. Like you're still great. You're still great, but more closer to the mark than Anderson. But was it that damn? Final Destination has Ali Larder in a ponytail. And she looks more like Clara in that than she did in any of the Anderson films. Anyway, okay, but that's all we gotta say for now. I don't think we'll make a third video on Superman unless we really feels like we have to say something. But I think we pretty much covered everything we want to talk about. Maybe we might do a revisit of it sometime down the line. Maybe
Hopefully.
in the lead up to Supergirl, maybe. But I think it holds up. I love this movie. I want to see it again, and I'm not phantom menacing it or anything like that. I think this genuinely is what we need for the character right now.
It's not just for us. It's basically what the world needs for the character, and
Mm-hmm.
the world is starting to realize, oh shit, maybe we kind of this is what we need to get out of our superhero stupor.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. Well, this is Dark Cat Timmy and I signing off with my usual co-host Erica, aka Dark Neon.
This would be a part where we would play the punk rocker song, but we don't want to get copyright by Warner Brothers.
All right, then. Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.